followers, numb the tens of taking the track to touchdown. Enter to the call forward. The other diggers call by home. There's Tornashe. Welcome to British the SEC on ESB Tide State sold out for $90,000. It's the backdrop night for Auburn Tigers and LSU Tigers. LSU comes as ranked number 9. It's a possibility they still have so much to play for. Let's look at the ending of the Harris spins a moment ago against Tennessee. LSU in agreement with Auburn and Collins sees east of in Florida. Let's look at up on Georgia. Right now at the love on the right. East. Markins along by. Maybe take a look ahead. It's first ball from in its east. I'm 17 Street and Raw National Kitchen. Now they've lost 2 straight SEC games. Win. The Tigers be back on track. Neither Tigers lie the spouse. They're saying, hey, what about us? The more people around the country think that Alabama and Florida are locked up in the SEC championship game. Well, no, it's that route. The LSU knows can play themselves to the SEC championship, but the championship game. You can just win out and control it all starts today. For us, it's like a sleep job. It is inspired by problems Alabama again in the sky. That's how it's fighting. They are so very close. They are just inches away. But they want this team to remember the disappointment a couple weeks ago right at Tiger Stadium. They lost to the Bears 2-3. We want them to use some motivating factor to get better and to not look ahead. God, the Jesus said it's never been or as good as it seems with the loss of 5-game winning streak. Now in the mid-try snap, a 2-game lose streak. Mark their 1-2 head coach Ballshear. Kelly at Oregon has a better record than Chiefs. So even though they lost 2 straight, Auburn off to a really start on new first-year head coach. Team under football half the season before when lost 6. They're lost 7. 6. Really into nothing happening. It's the very best to add here to the man here. The ball dead out, sold out of 92,000 bucks is a real intimidating team. Listening, not only LSU's football team was still coming up an old day, but 90,000 in stadium. That's too. This play will be rocking tonight. What a beautiful day. Not in out the humidity in the Baton Rouge. That is very unusual. LSU win a toss and during the second half, Auburn will receive. Eric Ben and number 7 acting along with Ben Tate. Ben alluded to the weather a few months ago. Grease, low humidity. Perfect condition for college football. Stopped up at the 2-yard line. That's a good top. Take the reins of this Auburn offense. Scott had some issues last week. Single near 80 yards. Hit a lot against Tuck. Pretty good season though. About 50% of assists. The touchdown is just reception. But the opposite starts at the top of the screen. This is a high tempo pick off. Let's try to get on as many as 80+ plays a game. season. Is put down after a gain about 3 on the field. Dumb Shepard make a stop on the play for times. You might know how much there's a lot of no-home team in this country, but very few that best the tempo is off. I mean, get up and get football snap now. 2nd and 7 from 28. There's some heat. He's got a nice hour ahead of him. Todd lunging the first down, supposed to it. Kelvin Jefferson running out of bounds as you take a look. Tonight's attack players brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Well, Auburn is run and play action offense, and the key is staying deep. He's physical, he's the top. They have to win the football. Cody punch good as a wide receiver, but Rich Roy, the Wildcat quarterback. He's fight some injuries. Auburn's been struggling on defense. This guy right here is their best player, and they leadership, man, Romeo Cole. As you mentioned, Cody Burns comes into the game, and their Wildcat will be on shotgun. Burns is run and get the first down. Out near the 40-yard line. Picked up 4 on play. The questions of Auburn coming into the season just this game was, who would match the quarterback job? Well, it's clear cut that Thomas the winner. He started every game before the season on last week. Cody Burns started at 7 of them. It's down 10. Todd hits it off, then beats. And take the gain of about 9. Taking off a productive week last week against Kentucky at 133 yards. Average 122 yards a game, saving Muffin, and he's so tough yards. He's a typical running back. I think the key to this on offense. But he brings back the ball again. Looking to throw this time. Incomplete intended for aerial finish. You see the reason why Cody Burns did not win the quarterback job. Inconsistency and accuracy throwing the ball, but he's still a weapon back there as a Wildcat quarterback. It's up a 3rd and short here for Auburn. Todd comes back into the ball game. Well, they don't wait much time up line of scrimmage, but this time that's going to be stopped up short of the first down. A good surge by a Tiger front 4. Mark, one of the drawbacks going on a quick out like that, you don't check the play, so sometimes you run into a very bad front. You just kind of roll the ice. Small on right there on your screen, the offensive coordinator for the Auburn Tigers. First season on the J.O.B. on Flames. They're going to go for it on down. Burns back ball. The move 10 on 4th and situations this year. And it leads us to the LSU defense. Well, they're going to blow dead. There was some motion up front. And it appears as if LSU jump offside. Mark just down. Number 77 looked like he lined up offside initially, but then clearly jumped before the goes through. Fourth down. This one goes the other way against the other Tigers. Okay, let's take a look at this. Watch. Man. It was a little pinch, but it almost looked to me like just down to across the neutral zone and brought that clinch on by the Auburn offensive line. The punt today. Chad Jones back deep, makes the fair catch at the 17-yard line. Well, after that 4-yard punt, Jordan Jefferson will start the offense for the LSU Tigers. Here's a kid that turned 19 years old at the beginning of the season. We saw him several weeks ago out in Seattle in that victory against the University of Washington. He's thrown 7 touchdowns against just 3 interceptions on this season, but he's in the folks a lot of talk about LSU's ineffective offense so far, last in the SEC. No question, Mark. I mean, it's his first season going through the entire season as a starting quarterback. First down and 10, handed off to Charles Scott with icing out to the 25-yard line, working the stuff. But Scott, Scott is trying to pick up pace offensively. His numbers are off the season ago. Yeah, Russell Shep, the highly touted freshman, now in at run back, Mark. This is the guy everybody's been waiting to see if you're an LSU fan. Wild Tiger formation that they have. Russell Shepard's the handoff. Russell to the first down. He's got yard on the play. Let's take a look at six Packers brought to you by Pretty Meat. Well, LSU has to get their offense on. The key to me, Charles Scott, only averaging 55 yards a game, Mark, but hit 132 last year against Auburn. They want to throw the ball down the field, take some shots. That's what they worked on the open. Brendan LaFell, their top receiver. And then on defense, I love this guy right here. Patrick Peterson, a big physical corner. They're having a great season. Flag on play down the field. Crafton is substitution on offense. One Hubble with 2 players for 80. 5 yards in the previous spot. Still third down. Mark, one thing you see, and this conversation I've had a lot here in Louisiana about LSU, when you have a lot of weapons and you try to get them all in the game, sometimes that causes continuity problems. The first carry of the game, Charles looked like he was shot out of a mitt. All of a sudden, he's on sidelines, and the freshman, Russell Shepard, comes in the game. You'd like to see Charles Scott just establish that running game, give him a few carries in a row. Spread it around and deal with consequences. Jefferson flies from Williams with a first down and a lot more. Williams. It's LSU, a 20-yard gain at its first down. One of the issues with quarterback Jordan Jefferson is that he's been a little bit hesitant, to say, and pull the trigger. Well, Auburn made it easy for him that time, Mark, because they turned Glenn Williams loose out of the background. But you're exactly right. He tries to be perfect. As a result, takes some sacks by holding to that football too long. First down and 10, up to the 3-2. Completes another pass. Jump first, but by Tolliver. And Tolliver giving you some good run after the catch. Get another LSU first down, picking up 12. Tolliver, the second lead receiver on that LSU offense. Well, something I noticed, fresh licks by LSU. They look really quick to me coming off that open dip, Mark. I mean, they look right now, they have a little different gear than Auburn's playing with. They talk among themselves as players about turning up the heat a little bit, improving their performance. First down and 10. Had a long time to think about that loss to Florida. Jefferson going up top. Incomplete. There's flag on the play. Neil Thorpe was working and defending against Terrence Tolliver, and less appeared to get caught up with each other. Nico Thorpe and coverage out here on Terrence Tolliver. Watch him try to undercut, go for the interception. As he does, his left hand looks like it goes on the back of that jersey right there. To the first, on the bench, number 15. 15 yards from the bench. Yeah, it's against Thorpe. He was in good shape, Mark. He exercised his vision on the football. He uncut the route. He just got tackled up for really no apparent reason. Bob Les told that if they went to work Tuesday, Wednesday, did them hard scrimmaging on Thursday during the off week, their fresh leg really seemed to be making an early difference. The other thing, I see that freshman now in at quarterback. And what do you call this formation? Wild Tiger. Wild Tiger formation. Shepard keeping himself. And nowhere to go this time. Brought down back at the 34-yard line. Fake the handoff to Holiday. And Walter
McFadden came in to make the stop, and it's a 3-yard loss for LSU.
Mark, again, to belabor this point, but early in the football game, now you have the freshman Russell Shepard at quarterback. They're really trying to get him the football. Do they need to really get him the football? Just stay in rhythm right now. You're on fire if you're LSU.
Jefferson back in the ball game. Jefferson working out of the shotgun on an empty formation. Slings it complete, and now it's ruled incomplete. Terrence Tolliver almost came up with it. Instead, going to be 3rd down and about 13 to go. Oh, they've shown the entire box of tricks here on the opening drive, partner. Huh?
Well, you talk about an offense, number 112 total offense, last in the Southeast Conference total yards coming off an open date. This is a good display, Mark, but it comes down now to 3rd and 13, trying to convert.
Just inside the 21 for the 1st down. Jefferson throws it again, and it's caught by LaBelle. And a flag. No, it's not loose. Check that. But there's flag.
Yeah, we get Zach Etheridge using the helmet as a weapon, Mark, after the ball was incomplete. And penalties against Auburn this season killed the Tigers.
Play was over. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Contact with the defensive receiver. Number 4 on the defense.
That's one of the points of emphasis this year.
Mark, we're going to see it again. Zach Etheridge from the safety position. See him launch right there? He launched, used that helmet as a weapon. And keep this in mind, Auburn had 8 penalties in the 4th quarter against Kentucky. They've had 18 penalties in their last 2 games, number 75 in the NCAA. Penalties kill this football team. It killed them right there on 3rd down.
Kept the defense on the field. 1st and 10 now from the 19. A little motion up front. Speaking of penalties,
talked to Gene Chizik about penalties this week. He said they're like turnovers sometimes. They come in bunches, and they continue to come in bunches.
Offside on the defense, number 90. In the neutral zone, causing an offensive play on the move. The penalty is 5 guys from the previous spot. Still 1st down.
well, LSU getting some free passes from Auburn on this opening drive. That's Auburn's 4th penalty already.
And yeah, go back to 8 in the 4th quarter against Kentucky. That's 12 in 2 quarters.
Out of the eye. Jefferson into the end zone. Touchdown, Tolliver. Tolliver's 3rd touchdown catch of the season, and LSU on the board. This is an offense that's been starved for success, and early indications, Bob Davies, say they've unbottled the genie here.
Mark, LSU always a great football team as tough far as team speed. Coming out of that open date, they are really a great team speed.
Introducing Wing Street Wings from Pizza Hut. Now you can have a real wing night at home with Wing Street's traditional crispy bone-in and bone-out wings. And our award-winning sauces. Wing Street Wings, delivered only by Pizza Hut.
This fall, don't just get more out of your tires. Get more back from your tires. Because with Cooper's National Take the Money and Ride Fall event, you'll not only get undeniable performance, you'll get a prepaid rebate card by mail worth up to $75 when you buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires. Cooper's Take the Money and Ride Fall event. Get your rebate form and all the terms and conditions at a participating Cooper Tire dealer or at coopertire.com. Cooper, don't give up a thing. Do you want to?
John Hancock, the future is yours. Visit findtheanswers.com.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little obsessive. My kids call me the shredder, because every bill I get goes right in my
inbox, not my mailbox. I pay for everything online so I can get these text messages. They're called spending alerts. I feel more in control. Yeah, they could just come up with chocolate alerts. That'd be great.
At Citi, we know everyone's talking about keeping money safe. And we've got lots of ways to help, like spending alerts. Because when your money's safe, your mind's at ease. That's why Citi never sleeps.
It's time to feel the pressure of knowing only 5 races remain. Time to trade paint for position or have your chase dreams smashed. Feel the 4-time champion and the warhorse look to dial back the clock and make a strong move in the standings. Feel the champion fighting to keep his lead and a menacing field eager to shut him down. The chase continues at Martinsville tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ABC. Telecast presented by Goodyear.
This is the way they throw down and get down here in the Bayou. No party like a Baton Rouge party, DJs included. They were spinning some stacks of wax, and that's how you put it down at LSU, Bob Davey. The Rhythm Nation in full effect, and hey, that offense was in rhythm with the aid of some penalties from Auburn.
You cut the humidity out of the air down here, people do crazy things, man.
A pretty good start for Jordan Jefferson, the sophomore quarterback, who's making just his 9th start for LSU. Tate and Fannin back deep for the Auburn Tigers. This is Fannin. And stopped up short of the 25-yard line. Chris Todd going to take his second offensive sequence at quarterback for Auburn. This Auburn offense, one of the highest scoring units in the entire country. But they sputtered last week in that loss against Kentucky with only 1 offensive touchdown. The other touchdown came by virtue of a blocked kick on special teams.
And really, Mark, unrealistic to think this Auburn offense could keep up the pace they had.
You think?
Early in the year when they were averaging over 500 yards. Not in this conference.
Lining up close to the ball, 1st down and 10 from the 24. Completes it, but nowhere to go. Well, 2 NFC East rivals clash this week on ESPN's Monday Night Football as Donovan McNabb and the Eagles take on Clinton Portis and Washington. It's ESPN's Monday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And speaking of former Auburn players, you'll see one in that game. Jason Campbell at quarterback for Washington. Cody Burns in the Wild Tiger, or Wildcat. Well, if they're both Tigers, do we call them both Wild Tiger offense?
I'll say this. Good call, though, by Gus Malzahn. This LSU defense, like their offense, flying around in a little bit of misdirection. You know, get LSU going one way, come back the other way, because, Mark, right now, this LSU football team is fast.
Burns still in, takes the handoff. Brought down right around the line of scrimmage. Maybe got 1. Let's go to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you very much. It's a Taco Bell studio update. Only 1 game this week, a matchup of teams ranked in the top 25 of the BCS, and it's this game, TCU and BYU, and that's Joseph Turner to put TCU on top by a touchdown.
All right, Wendy, and back here, it's going to be a 4th down and 1 to go. Cody Burns for Auburn shaking up on that last play.
Yeah, he's been battling injuries the last several weeks. He's had a quad injury, ankle injury. Second 3rd down stop in a row by the LSU defense, Mark, on 3rd and relatively short yardage.
Clinton Durston to punt now, standing at his own 18-yard line. Chad Jones standing on his own 33 for LSU.
Maybe the biggest punt returner in the country, about 235 pounds back there.
Literally. A low line drive punt. Takes an Auburn bounce all the way down to the 22-yard line. Cody Burns being tended to on the sidelines, which kind of puts a wrinkle in the offensive plan for Gene Chizik. We'll be right back after this.
Well-informed people are considering Chevy Malibu.
You a cop?
No.
You didn't hear from me, but this Malibu, it offers better highway mileage than a comparable Camry or Accord.
Estimated 33 highway. I saw that on the EPA site.
So how come the Malibu costs so little?
It's a Chevy.
You have cop hair.
Now qualified buyers get 0% APR for 60 months on 09 or 2010 Malibu models. That's an average finance savings of around $4,600.
There's never been more reasons to look at Chevy.
This one is the top cleaning model. And with this one, you can wash and dry a load in just 36 minutes. But I think this LG with steam care technology would be right for you. It releases wrinkles with the touch of a button.
That would be good. Get the top 10 brands only at Sears. Save 20% on all Kenmore appliances and 10% off all other brands, including LG. For more, see Sears.com. Sears, life well spent.
The Blackjack Taco is here. Behind this mysterious black shell is Taco Bell's classic crunchy taco with pepper jack sauce. Come in after dark on Halloween and get one of these tacos free. Free. It's not a trick. It's our treat.
Hi, it's Jimmy Football here. Nobody likes number 2, so we just upgraded you to number 1. Introducing the Bud Light Foozy. It's a foam finger. It's a can koozie. Boom! Whoa! Stamp! It's the Foozy!
We love the Foozy! Thanks, Bud Light! Yeah, booyah!
It's the Bud Light Foozy, and it's... Tailgate approved!
Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest.
Call 800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Chevy and America's #1 appliance network, Sears. Life well spent.
You're looking at the old Capitol here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, an example of Gothic revival architecture. You know, Bob, Mark Twain once called it the ugliest building on the Mississippi.
That right there?
Yeah, he must have been an Auburn fan, I guess.
It's a unique culture down here, Mark. You know, I lived down in New Orleans for 2 years. This is a unique place. And you're right. I mean, it is a festival atmosphere. These football games in Tiger Stadium are truly events.
When you call it unique, more so it lends itself to the cultural experience here. I mean, it is very, very unconventional.
Yeah, a lot of flavor in this state, and they love Tiger football.
Charles Scott on 1st down and 10, on his way over the 25 for 4 yards. Antoine Carter making the stop. You know, when LSU lost a couple of weeks ago against Florida, it snapped the streak of 32 consecutive wins at nighttime at Tiger Stadium. Some thought that would never end. And Bob, you did the game the last time they lost before.
Oh, you had to bring that up, huh? Yeah, you're right.
Well, they can't blame the jinx on you then.
No,
right?
well, they had 19 straight on ESPN, right?
Yep.
The last time they lost, I was here with Ron Franklin on a Monday night when they played Tennessee. They lost in overtime.
I'm not used to coming out of here with an L on Saturday night under the lights here at Tiger Stadium. 6:17 to go and a flag down on the field.
We got another major penalty.
This would be the 5th now against Auburn.
Automatic first down.
See a disconsolate looking head coach Gene Chizik.
That's That's a personal foul on Auburn.
Five penalties against the Auburn Tigers for a total of 54 yards already. And Jefferson completes another one to Tolliver. Tolliver fighting for some extra yards out near midfield. At the 48, he picked up 8. Second down and about 2.
Terrence Tolliver averaged about 60 yards a game, 6'5", about 190 pounds, from Hempstead, Texas. Remember Harvey Williams that played here at LSU from Hempstead? That's his uncle.
Played at LSU, like you said, and member of the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL.
Yeah, still broke my heart because I was coaching at Texas A&M at the time, which was about 20 miles down the road from Hempstead. Thought he was going to be an Aggie.
Couldn't get him, huh? Tolliver. Well, maybe Tolliver should take that up with his Uncle Harvey. Why you disappointed Bob Davie? A pickup of 11 yards. And here's what's happening now under the lights at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Penalties, the predominant theme so far. 5 of them against Auburn for a total of 54 yards, helping LSU score its first touchdown. And coming up ahead on Davy Jones' locker, we'll talk about how festive it can be down here. And later on, the offensive and defensive team management of the respective sides. Charles Scott, the lone back. Quick 3-step drop. Pass complete to LaBelle. Little receiver screen and down to the 35. A pickup of 5.
Look at Ted Roof over there, the defensive coordinator. Was the head coach at Duke. I think did an outstanding job there. Played at Georgia Tech. Last year was at Minnesota. I think really a good football coach. Even though this Auburn defense is struggling, Mark, they are a defense that doesn't have a lot of depth like you normally see at Auburn.
Pretty animated on the sidelines. Here's Charles Scott, and he is collared and brought down to the 37. Josh Bynes making the stop that time, middle linebacker. A loss of 2 on the play. Third down, about 7 to go for LSU.
I think you see the frustration if you're an LSU fan. You see the potential of this offense, Mark, but then you see mistakes like that lead to negative plays.
Here they go on 3rd and about 6. Jefferson out of the pocket. And it's incomplete, intended for Scott, who made his way downfield. The one thing about Jordan Jefferson that you can say, Bob, is he's not hurting the team offensively by turning it over.
And Mark, you're exactly right. The reason they have won is defense, and they haven't turned the football over. They've only turned it over 5 times all year. And that was a good decision by Jordan Jefferson because the problems he's had has been taking sacks. You know, he takes about 3 sacks a game, but that time he at least scrambled out, threw the ball away to keep from trying the negative play.
Les Miles, Bob, as we all know, a little bit of a gambler. And they're going to spot it with Josh Jasper in to attempt a field goal. Should they attempt it, it'll be coming from about 54 yards, which will be a career long.
Let me say something else. So Josh Jasper.
Delay of game on the defense. Sideline interference.
Wow.
On the bench.
That's their 6th penalty.
That's crazy, because I was just going to say Josh Jasper is a guy that pooch punts. I really think LSU would have pooch punted. They have now made a decision to let Les Miles go ahead and kick the field goal. Josh Jasper has a long of 52 yards. 9 for 10 on the season. That's why LSU right now, they're going to go ahead and kick the field goal now, or go for it.
Yeah, it's only 4th and 1 now after the penalty. 6 penalties already against Auburn. It's 4th and 1, and LSU is going to call a timeout.
Mark, I really believe they were going to pooch punt that from the field goal position. They get the 5-yard delay a game. Now they're deciding whether to go for it on 4th down or go ahead and kick the field goal.
Bob, we chronicled the penalties against Auburn dating back to last week and their loss against Kentucky. That penalty statistic can be misleading sometimes, because sometimes some of the most successful teams have a lot of penalties against them. But in this case, how do you call
No,
it?
you hit the nail on the head. Some of the best teams in the country have the most penalties, but the kind that Auburn has been getting, go back to last week against Kentucky on the final drive of the game. They're going in to win the game. They have 2 false start penalties in a row on 3rd and 1. I mean, they're getting the silly penalties that keep you from winning, Mark.
Well, the place kicker, as you mentioned, Josh Jasper, back on the field. .49 yards will be the distance.
Mark, he's only had 2 attempts over 40 yards, but he is 9 of 10 on the season overall.
Spotted down, and he pushed it just to the right. Had enough leg too, and Auburn dodges a bullet.
And now it's time for this Auburn offense to get it going, because you need your Auburn defense to rest, Mark.
Well, Coach Roof is happy.
You need Coach Roof to rest a little bit too.
Yeah, the roof isn't on fire though. They're not going to let it burn. Back after this.
ESPN Monday Night Football. Eagles-Redskins at 8:30.
Searching for something really fresh? Well, you don't have to sail around the world to get it. Just think Australian. Cruise into Outback Steakhouse and try a variety of delicious entrees made just for you, and only $9.95 each. Like our juicy signature sirloin, aged and seared to perfection. Or with our tasty grilled shrimp on the barbie. Each served with our famous freshly made sides at just $9.95. At these prices, you can sail in every day. Live adventurous. Go Outback.
Dude. Hey, is this dog purebred? Hey, all right, let's go to lunch, huh?
Yes, finally. Hey, I'm starving. Let's go to the Pork Palace.
Yeah, hey, well, this time I'm getting my own rack, huh?
Think you know? Text CGD to 43776. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot.
I'm personal injury attorney Michael Hingle. Have you been hit by a big rig like this one?
Michael Hingle has offices in Baton Rouge and Hammond. Call 1-800-USA-JURY.
If you're in a wreck with an 18-wheeler, we'll take them to court and they won't be so big.
Call attorney Michael Hingle, 1-800-USA-JURY.
Before you accept a quick check, check with him.
Stifled by typical meeting space? Then plan your next company meeting, retreat, or picnic on the grounds of White Oak Plantation, just 20 minutes from downtown. White Oak offers a natural setting for intimate groups or gatherings of hundreds. From filet mignon to cochon de layers, we customize menus for every budget. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, on-premise or off-site. Plus, we deliver box lunches for groups right to your door. Affordable elegance, White Oak Plantation.
Welcome back, everyone, to SEC on ESPN, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You know, sometimes, Bob Davie, the game is almost secondary. These people come to the stadium, get kind of close, set up shop, and throw a slab of meat on the grill. And I'll tell you one thing. 2 words you'll never hear in the same sentence is Mark Jones and vegetarian. Because you know what? Beef never did anything to me.
I think it was some kind of crocodile meat or something. That was strange looking.
They know how to do it. They know how to do it in SEC country. First down and 10. Play fake. Todd completes it to Ben Tate. Let's go back to Wendy in the studio. Wendy?
Mark, thank you. TCU off to their best start since opening 10-0 in 2003. Off to a quick start tonight as well. Andy Dalton to Ed Wesley, 28 yards in the score. TCU on top by 2 touchdowns.
TCU off to a quick start there. trying to join Boise State as a potential BCS buster. Ben Tate on the run that time, picking up 3 yards, stopped by Raheem Alem.
One thing, let's go back to Auburn's defense over there, and Ted Roof trying to get some rest on that sideline. Keep in mind this Auburn offense, 107th in the country, Mark, in time of possession. There's always a trade-off with everything you do. You're in this hurry-up tempo. That defense isn't on that bench very long. You better get a first down.
A little bit of heat dialed up against Todd. They get to him and it's loose. LSU possession. Danny McCray cradles the loose ball. After the Harry Coleman hit, McCray gives LSU a first down in great field position.
Harry Coleman, who was a strong safety, started last year at strong safety. They moved him to outside linebacker. Mark, watch him come from the top, unblocked right there. Great effort, knocks the football out of it. Danny McCray comes up with the recovery. John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, first year from Tennessee. They played outstanding defense all season long.
First and 10 from the 16. Handed off to Charles Scott, running hard between the tackles. And Scott is stopped up at the 15-yard line. Coleman with a big hit right there on the sidelines. His nickname, they call him the Hitman, appropriately named so, especially when you look at that last play that he made.
Yeah, and very unselfish. Anytime you move a guy from strong safety, he's a secondary guy to linebacker. That always takes an unselfish guy to get that done. Russell Shepard again in at quarterback, Mark.
That's what they do here. Shepard working out of the shotgun. Holiday in motion. Shepard keeps it. And he's stuffed at the 15. No gain on the play. El Toro Freeman making the hit for the Tiger defense.
Mark, and to me, Gary Croton is an excellent, one of the best offensive coordinators in all of college football for LSU. And I mean that sincerely. I know the dilemma he has because he has so many playmakers, but are you trying too hard? Do you have to get Russell Shepard those kind of snaps at quarterback right now? Jordan Jefferson throwing fine.
Shepard, a true freshman, still learning the nuances of the playbook. Dylan Williams in a tailback. Jefferson. He can do this too. He can run. And can he ever touchdown? Jefferson with his first rushing touchdown of the season, second of his career if it stands. They're going to review that last play, as all plays are available for review.
And I'll say this, if you're around the country tonight watching LSU and you're kind of thinking ahead, we're going to show this review again to see if Jordan Jefferson gets in. Let's take a look right here. I think he's in.
I don't think there's any question he was in.
To mark my point, we started off the telecast talking about a lot of people think Alabama and Florida, even though Alabama struggled today, are still penciled in for that SEC championship game. The winner going to the BCS championship. Early in this football game, the LSU Tigers, to me, are in that conversation big time now.
LSU plays Alabama in a couple of weeks at Alabama, but the good thing for Les Miles is that so far
the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a touchdown.
So far, Bob, LSU not looking ahead to Alabama. They're squarely focused on the task at hand on the field. Jefferson and the touchdown stand.
But you have to say what a big advantage having the open date was after Florida. And so far, Les Miles did an incredible job with this football team during that open date because they have exploded tonight.
The extra point good, and LSU leading 14-0. Jordan Jefferson, the quarterback, very efficient, not only on that touchdown run, Bob Davey, but taking advantage of the turnover. And when you look at Jefferson, you've got Russell Shepard, who is a very, very highly recruited player by LSU, nationally one of the top recruits in the country. How do you weigh off what you may have promised him during his recruitment versus playing time right now with Jefferson in your group?
Yeah, and I don't think it's so much what you promised them in recruiting. I think that probably happens. I doubt that that happens at a place like LSU because you got a bunch of other playmakers you have to pass up the play. Now, maybe at some places where they don't have playmakers, as a coach, you go out on that limb and say, hey, look, you come, you're going to get this many touches as a true freshman. I don't think that's the case. I just think they know the explosiveness of this young player out of Houston. He's been sick. They've moved him around, wide receiver, running back. They just want to get him on the field because he's so explosive. But make no mistake, it does take away from the continuity of your offense and your coaching to do that. Now, as the season goes on, he'll be woven into the fabric of this LSU offense. But right now, I think it affects him a little bit.
There's a lot of talent on that sidelines, and LSU hoping that this is a situation perhaps like a couple of years ago when they lost against Kentucky, and then the offense really got into gear, and they went on their way to a national championship. This is Philip Pierre-Louis out to the 28-yard line. Let's go back to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thanks. Florida at Mississippi State. Dan Mullen facing his former boss for the first time. Tim Tebow, he's done this before. On the carry will make it 10-3, and Tebow ties Herschel Walker's SEC record with that rushing touchdown. Number 49. His parents know it. Mark?
And, of course, Herschel Walker did it in less time, but surely that doesn't lessen the accomplishment by Tim Tebow. Cody Burns in a quarterback for Auburn, down 14-0 here with 1:03 to go. Good news for Auburn is that Burns is actually back on the field. He was shaken up a few moments ago, and he hands it off to McCallum, who took a big hit from Al Woods.
This is two teams playing at different speeds right now, Mark. Two football teams, totally different speeds on this football field. And don't diminish what an advantage LSU had after the Florida game to lick their wounds a little bit and get ready for this game tonight with the open date.
Todd completes it out to the 40-yard line to his tight end, Tommy Trott, for the first down. Quick of 15 on the play.
Mark, you see Chris Todd going off the field. He struggled the last several weeks. 15 for 28 against Arkansas, 10 for 24 against Kentucky for 80 yards. So he has been struggling. You see Cody Barnes in at quarterback.
Burns handed it off to Ben Tate. Tate out to the 44-yard line, picked up 3 on the play. Ben Tate was all SEC a season ago for the Auburn Tigers, one of the few bright spots in an otherwise very disappointing season. Tony Franklin was then the offensive coordinator. That is the new man on the JOB, Gus Malzahn. And that's the end of the first quarter of play here under the lights. 92,000 watching. LSU leading 14-0 in a pivotal game for both LSU and Auburn. SEC West title hopes on the line.
Catch every pitch of the MLB postseason on ESPN Radio.
People think that Honda is always the most fuel-efficient choice. Well, the Chevy Cobalt XFE has better highway mileage than a comparable Honda Civic. The all-new Chevy Equinox has better mileage than Honda CR-V, and Chevy Malibu has better mileage than Accord. However, Honda does make something that we just can't compete with. It's self-propelled.
Introducing the 60-day satisfaction guarantee. Buy a new Chevy, and if you don't love it, we'll take it back.
It's not just car people anymore. Nowadays, all kinds of folks are changing their own oil. And with Walmart's unbeatable prices, they're changing where they get it too. You could save 30% or more on these top motor oil brands compared to the leading national auto specialty stores. Do it yourself costs less at Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
get over the pain of losing you. Oh, I've tried all the things that I can do.
Your Windows stuff goes where you go. New Windows Phone at Verizon.
My top pick this season, Applebee's 2 for $20 game time lineup. Let's break it down. 1 appetizer to share, 2 entrees. Final score, $20. This deal could go all the way. 2 for $20, only at Applebee's.
Score delivery pizza.
Ouch!
Minus the delivery price. For fresh delivery taste without the delivery price, it's DiGiorno.
I think we've located the animal.
Look, fellas, we're all students here. Why don't we just put the flashlight down and work this out?
How far did you think you were going to get with a 900-pound steer?
Oh, he's not mine. Just holding him for a buddy.
Where are you taking him?
Oh, we're just looking for the men's room. I mean, you're not cops, right? It's a work study. Why don't we stop working and switch over to the study mode? I'll just walk out of here.
Welcome to this presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Look at one of the favorite spots here around Tiger Stadium. It's called Walk-Ons. Of course, last night there was about an hour wait, but the food is off the hook. Okay? That's the way they do it down here. If you don't make it inside the stadium, you can always hit walk-ons. Or that other establishment down the road, we hit Clunkers, Bob, for some fantastic chicken wings. You know, Kim Belton and Jeff Evers, our producer and director, were under a little bit of heat making that call last night.
What are you trying to get, a bucket for free from the place or what?
25 will do. Spicy. Chris Todd in at quarterback to start the second quarter. Auburn down 14-0. It's 2nd and 6. Todd with a gaping hole and a first down into LSU territory at the 46-yard line. He picked up 9 on the play.
You know, that actually was a predetermined quarterback draw right there. At first, I thought it was just kind of a jailbreak where you turned LSU's lineman loose on a pass rush. But see the lineman coming downfield right there, number 57, Isom. That was a predetermined quarterback draw.
Todd with a fake. Had plenty of time. Oh, what a pickoff! Wow! Hawkins! Ball Hawkins! Wow! Incredible dexterity with his hands.
Well, Chris Hawkins, who was benched against Florida after Florida had that controversial touchdown pass of 24 yards. Watch this right here. Oh, wow. That is a great left-handed interception right there.
That was incredible. That's LSU's 9th straight game with an interception.
Well, and Chris Todd continues to struggle. Mark, he forced that into double coverage on 1st and 10. And another, I don't want to jump the gun, but Auburn penalty.
This LSU defense certainly doing its share of the work while the offense finds its way.
Well, the defense, number 91. In the neutral zone.
You're right, Bob. Jake Ricks moving prematurely.
Still first down.
The look on those Auburn fans' faces says it all. 18 total penalties in the last 2 games dating back to last week against Kentucky. Tonight, 7 and counting as we just begin the second quarter. LSU lining up out of the eye. Charles Scott, the deep back. The pass complete. Brendan LaFell, a.k.a. JoJo, making the catch. Wendy Nix, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. Just a quick reminder what's going on around our family of networks on ABC. Texas over Missouri via touchdown. ESPN, Florida and Mississippi State. And over on ESPNU, South Carolina and Vanderbilt all tied up. Mark?
All right, thanks a lot, Wendy. A pickup of 11 on that last play. Jefferson throwing the ball with authority, completes another one to LaFell. Another first down at the 23-yard line. It was interesting, Bob. This team, LSU, they talked about it amongst themselves. Charles Scott leading the way, saying, hey, we got to stop talking and go out and do it. Let's do better. Let's get the defense off the field. It's embarrassing the numbers we've been putting up. So far, his body is writing a check that his mouth is trying to cash in. I mean, it's all working out. 1st and 10, a 19-yard pickup by LaFell. Little bootleg action. And Jefferson takes off. Down to the 12. And another first down on the pickup of 11.
They are on fire, Mark. And you've seen all the weapons. You've seen the 2 receivers, Brandon LaFell and Terrence Tolliver. You've seen Charles Scott, but probably the biggest thing right now, Jordan Jefferson. Looks like he has a lot of confidence right now. I mean, he is letting it rip.
Charles Scott lowers his hat and brought down at the 11-yard line. Stopped up after a gain of about 1. And during the last couple of weeks after the Florida loss, how do you think Les Miles has dealt with all the calls for maybe taking a look at Jarrett Lee, the backup quarterback?
I don't even think that's an issue. I think they are so high on Jordan Jefferson. They do not want revolving door quarterbacks like they had last year. They are sold on Jordan Jefferson. And so far in this game, Mark, we can see why Gary Croton and Les Miles are so high.
6 of his last 7. A predetermined run for Jefferson. Couldn't get to the edge. Brought down to the 10-yard line. Picked up 1. Antoine Carter making the stop on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up for LSU.
Keep in mind, this is an LSU offense that's 91st in the country in scoring offense. Only scoring 23 points a game. They lost to Florida 13-3. They've played great defense. They haven't turned the football over. Mark, if they can continue this offense doing what they're doing now, they will be a factor in not only the SEC, but in the BCS championship. I really believe that.
The hopes of another national championship. Long way to go, though. 3rd and long. Jefferson. Pass is caught right near that first down marker by Tolliver. Let's see where they spot it. It appears to be a little bit short of the first down. And decision time now here, perhaps on 4th and short.
Mark, watch Jordan Jefferson stand in this pocket right here. And he's going to get pretty good pressure right there by number 45, Antoine Carter. He stepped up and delivered that football to Tolliver.
They're going to go for it on 4th and short. Jefferson kept it himself. Let's see where they spot this. It's going to be close. It appears as if he got enough for the first down. According to where the officials are standing. Yes, he got it. Jordan Jefferson at 19 years old, the youngest LSU quarterback to start a season opener in the last 25 years.
Yeah, only 11 for 17 against Florida for 96 yards. Hadn't had a touchdown pass in the last 2 games.
And Bob, his growth and development dating back to last year's Chick-fil-A Bowl when he was the MVP of that game.
21-0 as a starter down in Destrehan, Louisiana. Always wanted to go to LSU.
You lived in the area. You said, where's Destrehan? You know where that is? Close? You need me to? I'll get our producers on it. I'm not sure.
No, I know Destrehan.
You went through there a few times? 1st and goal coming up. Working out of the shotgun now. Charles Scott beside him. Jefferson kept it. And nowhere to go. He's actually going to lose some yardage. The ball came loose. But he appeared to be stopped up first. I'm not sure that he got back even to the line of scrimmage that time.
Very interesting call right there. Very interesting. You have a 235-pound tailback in Charles Scott. On 1st and 10 to jump in the shotgun and run a quarterback run with Jordan Jefferson. Mark, And it's an undersized Auburn defense that's been on that field this whole game.
Right.
That was a very interesting call right there.
Second and goal. The ball back at the 3-yard line now.
I think you're going to see big 32 carry here, Mark.
Line up out of the offset eye. Good ball fake. Not everyone was buying, though. The fumble. Ball goes into the end zone. And Auburn has recovered it. An opportunity falls by the boards. Zach Etheridge made the hit on the play, causing the ball to come loose.
Mark, that's shocking. Back-to-back plays right there. That was shocking to me. Les Miles, an old offensive line coach, carrying the football in there. He switched it over to the prop rump, but he never tucked it away. Zach Etheridge came in, stripped that football out. Great effort by Craig Stevens. Mark, watch him hold the football out right there. But again, Jordan Jefferson carrying the football on back-to-back plays. First and goal at the 1.
Auburn ball coming back the other way.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and that means full-size deals on full-size trucks. Like Silverado, backed by America's best coverage. And with the lowest cost of ownership of any full-size pickup, it's America's best value, too. Now, during Chevy Truck Month, get 0% APR for 60 months or $6,000 total cash back on select 2009 Silverado vehicles in stock. See your local Chevy dealer.
Well, the first thing we do when we come up here is take her out to eat.
She needs a good meal, and we need to catch up. I love when they come visit, and so do my roommate.
Try Olive Garden's new Mezzaluna's Half Moon Ravioli stuffed with 4 Italian cheeses. Try the shrimp and white wine cream sauce or the savory sausage and tomato Alfredo, starting at just $9.95 with unlimited salad and breadsticks.
I just like to know my little girl's okay.
Daddy.
Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Call Consolidated Credit. They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest.
Call 800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
This thing rocks. Lots of room back there in the back. Hemi, top of the line.
The all-new Dodge Ram 1500, the most award-winning truck of 2009, and winner of Strategic Vision's Total Quality Award. Right now, get 0% financing for 6 years on 2009 Ram 1500 Crew Cab.
We're coming to you with HD. Huge discounts from Brian Harris Chrysler Jeep. Huge discounts. 8,000 off Grand Cherokee. 7,000 off Chrysler 300 and Sebring convertibles. $7,000, your choice. Plus get 4,000 off Jeep Liberty, and as always, Jeep Wranglers are just $19,990. You get huge discounts. Plus 0% for 72 months is available. HD never looked better. Get huge discounts and 0% for 72 months at Brian Harris Chrysler Jeep on Airline.
Mark, you talk about the development of a young quarterback. See right there, that football's clearly out, but he switched the ball, and then it got stripped out. He didn't bring the ball tight to his body.
And Auburn with an opportunity now coming back the other way. Down 14-0. The Auburn Tigers trying to snap out of a 2-game losing streak. Losses to Arkansas and Kentucky in consecutive weeks have dropped them to 5-2. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davie here under the lights in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. LSU leading 14-0. Ben Tate on the pitch. And a flag on the play. Tate pushed out of bounds just beyond the 25 by Kelvin Shepherd. He got 6.
It could be a block in the back by Tommy Trott, number 5, out on the perimeter. Looks like Auburn's signaling it's against LSU.
Personal foul. on the defense. Number 11, hands to the face. That penalty is 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Against Kelvin Shepherd. See what happened.
Watch Kelvin Shepherd come in. Yeah, we're going to call that again. Leading with that helmet mark and the helmet down. You look right at contact right here. He didn't have his face mask up.
That's one of the points of emphasis that the officials were going to clamp down on. They mentioned that to us in our meetings, Bob, at the start of the season, and they've enforced it.
Yeah, Mark, Kelvin Shepherd did not have eyes in his face mask up. He dropped that, hit with the top of the helmet.
There's been tipped up right around the line of scrimmage. Drake Nevis, no gain on the play. Let's go back to Wendy.
Mark, Oregon State, the underdogs, number 7 USC, but Oregon State has won 2 of its last 3 against the Trojans. Matt Barkley to Anthony McCoy, though, and it's the home team leading this one. 7-0, 5 minutes to play in the first quarter.
All right, Wendy back here, 2nd and 10. On the handoff, on the reverse. It's with nowhere to go. Pushed out of bounds at the 34 by Shepherd and Chad Jones. Almost a 7 on the play. Chad Jones, one of the leaders back there defensively for LSU, the 2-sport star. Pitched in the College World Series recently for the LSU Tigers. And so third and 17. It's loose, and they're going to say it was incomplete. Harry Coleman was there, batted loose. Great threat defensively by Harry Coleman. Made a couple of key plays already in this game.
Mark, Coleman comes on the blitz from the wide side of the field. You're going to watch right at the top, number 24. Just beats the offensive tackle, number 73, Lee Zimba.
Thurston to punt, his 3rd punt of the night. Low spiral line drive. Trindon Holiday watches it bounce harmlessly at the 20-yard line. LSU after a week off, using that loss against Florida, some pretty good motivation right now, leading 14-0.
Yeah, I'm about to bust some chops. It's the man that took my parking spot. So you like guy, huh? Yeah. Does that mean you living the high life lately?
Yeah, he just refers to this stuff here.
Oh.
Kind of like differently labeled brothers from the same mother.
So you a metaphorical kind of guy, huh?
One's a little more athletic than the other, though.
Well, which one? You know, because you can run fast, but knock you over.
All right, I need someone on the red eye or a plant in Jersey. Who's it going to be, people?
I'll go, sir.
I need somebody in Houston by 5.
I'm your man, sir.
6 a.m. to Omaha. Who's taking one for the team?
That'd be me, sir.
Steve-O. That's what I'm talking about. Steve, can you make it to Buffalo by 4? Anyone seen Steve?
Enjoy your trip.
We will.
Thank you.
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
There you go. The Hernandez says you're automatically getting a price assurance check from Orbitz because another customer booked your hotel for a lower price.
Really?
Yep. You don't have to do a thing. How's he doing? I don't want to look.
Orbitz Hotel Price Assurance, where if another Orbitz customer books the same hotel for less, we'll send you a check for the difference automatically.
There for you when you're in a tight spot.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Welcome back, everyone, to the SEC on ESPN. A look inside the varsity. One of the great spots to watch an LSU football game if you don't get inside Tiger Stadium. Just a couple of blocks away.
Does that look like Alice Cooper?
It's not even Halloween yet.
You ever been to Mardi Gras?
Never.
No.
Never.
I'm going to tell you.
Felt like I have been every time I come and do a game here, though.
I mean, they have Mardi Gras all over. I'm talking Kenner, Metairie, all around Monday night, Tuesday night. It's not just a one-time deal, man.
It's always a festive atmosphere around here, especially when the home team wins. Tolliver making a key play. It actually started in the Gulf Coast area. Actually, the home of Mardi Gras, Bob. A little education and trivia for you. It's actually Montgomery, Alabama. And you and I have been down there doing a bowl game.
Sure, it's not Mobile, Alabama.
It is Mobile. You're right. You're right. We were in the parade.
No, I'm your fact checker. I'm the fact checker, you know. Tolliver
with a 6th catch for a total of 63 yards. Russell Shepard in the ball game now, along with Jefferson at quarterback. On the last drive, LSU fumbled while they were within scoring range. A little bubble screen to LaFell. And JoJo makes it out to the 32-yard line. El Toro Freeman making the stop on the play. And the festivities never seem to stop in the Baton Rouge area. You know, there's so many people inside, some 92,000, but outside there seems to be just as many a lot of times. It's all about the game and sometimes a lot more. The sport has won a couple of national championships, most recently back in 2007.
I see Russell Shepard now, the last 2 plays, has been the tailback in kind of this pistol offense that LSU's in now.
2nd down and 9 coming up. Little option into the boundary. Jefferson with nowhere to go, lunging forward to the 33. And Wendy Nix, you ever done Mardi Gras? Back to you.
Mark Jones, I have not, I must say. But I have done the Red River rivalry, and Texas has never lost the week after under Mike Brown. They're on their way to keeping that streak intact. Fozzie Whitaker on the carry, Texas 14, Mizzou not on the board.
All right, Wendy. Jefferson, meanwhile, 9 of his last 10 passing. But, of course, had that costly fumble a few moments ago. 3rd and 7 coming up for LSU. Elon Williams in the ball game. Jefferson held on to it and then finally threw it away, incomplete.
Mark, that's going to be intentional grounding. He didn't get outside the tackle box. But that series for LSU, I think, really puts into focus, do they do too many things?
Intentional grounding. Number 9 on the offense. That penalty is a loss of down at the spot of the foul. 4th down.
We've got a player shaking up down on the field, Bob, for Auburn. That's number 52, Antonio Coleman, actually their leader up front.
Yeah, you spoke about Mobile a minute ago. He's from Mobile. Actually played high school football with Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell tried to get him to come to LSU. It's been a frustrating season for him. You know, he's been playing with a cast on his wrist. First team All-SEC last year, fighting some injuries. It's been a tough year, but this kid has shown great leadership for this Auburn defense.
And taking on more of a leadership role for that Tiger defense. Back with more after this.
The wing came from Buffalo, man.
These guys didn't know they were eating Wing Street wings from Pizza Hut.
That actually is an award winner. It's so good.
It has a nice crunch to it. I can easily pound 50.
I got a little secret to tell you. These wings are all Wing Street wings from Pizza Hut.
Introducing Wing Street wings from Pizza Hut. Now you can have a real wing night at home with 8 intense flavors from buffalo burning hot to honey barbecue.
They rock.
Pizza Hut, America's favorite for pizza, pasta, and wings. Now order on your iPhone.
So, heading to the doctor? Yeah.
You gonna ask him this time? About what? Our erectile dysfunction. Shh, no, I don't want to talk about it. Look, you're not alone. Millions of men with ED have talked to their doctors. I don't know. We can do this. Okay.
Talking to your doctor about ED may be the last thing you want to do, but it's definitely a conversation worth having. 20 million men have had their Viagra talk. When you're ready for yours, you'll find helpful tips on talking to your doctor at Viagra.com. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Don't take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. Talk to your doctor today and ask if Viagra is right for you.
The iPhone has all kinds of apps. There are apps for budgeting your money. There are apps for investing your money. Apps to learn a new chord. And apps to learn a new language.
你可以推荐一个饭馆吗?
There are apps for nature lovers, pizza lovers, and thousands of others. Yup, there are 85,000 apps for just about anything, only on the iPhone.
ESPN Monday Night Football, Eagles-Redskins at 8:30.
As the chase hits the halfway point, Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon will look to close the gap on current points leader Jimmy Johnson as NASCAR's best head to the shortest track on the circuit. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues at Martinsville. Coverage begins on ABC at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, presented by Goodyear. Fourth down coming up, and Antonio Coleman of the Tigers, Auburn Tigers, being worked on the sidelines. They cannot afford to lose him. That defense already very down on its numbers. First punt of the night for Derek Hilton for LSU. Pierre Lewis watches it bounce at the 44. It takes an Auburn bounce all the way to LSU's side of midfield, and the Auburn Tigers will have good starting field position when we come back.
Grill Nation is 60 million strong and counting.
So, let's celebrate.
And this Monday, you can try one free piece of Kentucky grilled chicken.
Whoa, it's free.
So come to KFC on the 26th and try that fall off the bone taste for free.
It's free.
I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free.
Log on now to TuneEducationToday.com. That's TuneEducationToday.com.
Dude. Hey, is this dog purebred? Hey, all right, let's go to lunch, huh?
Yes, finally. Hey, I'm starving. Let's go to the Pork Palace.
Yeah, hey, well, this time I'm getting my own rack, huh?
Think you know? Text CGD to 43776. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot.
Are you ready to start saving money on your car insurance? Then get set to Go Auto. Go Auto is your green light for the greatest value in car insurance you'll find anywhere. Lower rates, low down payment, ours are some of the lowest. Just call us or go online to GoAutoInsurance.com. So come on, start your engines and start saving money today with Go Auto.
Go Auto, go!
Opportunity here to tell you why you need to check out ITI Technical College. You can get your ITI degree in less than 2 years. You get specialized technical training, 8 career areas to choose from, hands-on training, skills for competitive edge, flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. Listen to Opportunity. Call ITI now or go online. It's that simple. We're your key to a better life.
At ITI, Opportunity doesn't just knock, it rocks.
Arguably Auburn's best defensive player right there, Antonio Coleman. Good sign, actually riding the bike now on the sidelines. He was taken off the field a few moments ago, shaken up. And speaking of injuries,
yeah, they're punting.
Helton, yeah, Derek Helton
pulled a muscle on that last punt. But right now, Mark, it's time for Gus Malzahn and this Auburn offense here with outstanding field position.
Cody Burns in a quarterback on 1st and 10. Burns on the pitch. That's Ontario McCallum. Bob, that's a player that they had a lot of high expectations for at the beginning of the year, but some of the optimism has subsequently worn off. Why?
Mark, just a freshman, you know, a young guy out of Hargrave Military, went to high school in Fort Meade, Florida. He's about 165, 170 pounds. Burst on the scene with 386 yards in the first 5 games. Only's had 45 in the last 2. Just a little bit worn down right now.
Chris Todd back in the ball game at quarterback for Auburn, and a little motion and some flags up front. Yeah, back to McCaleb. Hold on a second. We'll get the call.
On the defense, number 77. Contact before the snap. 5 yards from the previous spot. Second down.
Gus Malzahn's offense, Bob, had both Ontario McCaleb and Ben Tate averaging over 100 yards rushing per game early in the season.
Well, Mark, it's unrealistic to keep having those kind of statistics. But as this season goes on, it's going to come down to execution. You're not going to surprise anybody anymore.
There's a little Cody Burns execution. Nice run and tackled right at the first down marker. It looks like he got it at the 39. Jai Eugene making the tackle for LSU. Malzahn, the former offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
Well, Mark, what's happening now? Kentucky, Arkansas, LSU, they're playing base defense. They found out if you don't give up the big play to Auburn, Auburn has trouble consistently moving.
Todd, backside pressure, and it's loose. The Tigers recover it. Harry Coleman, again, he is everywhere. Already in on 3 significant defensive plays on the young Knight.
Well, you can see why John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, loves this guy. This time he's going to come from the backside. Here he comes right there. That's a great effort. You see him right here. Going to come around the horn. And Auburn very fortunate to get that football back.
Todd completes the pass to Ben Tate. Tate is brought down at the 47-yard line by Barrett Riley. But back to Harry Coleman, number 24 for LSU. We talked about the position change from safety down to linebacker. We asked the defensive coordinator, John Chavis, about Coleman's reaction to it. He said once Coleman saw that he could be successful in that scheme and playing where he was playing, he didn't have a problem with it.
Well, he's the happiest guy in this stadium tonight, both John Chavis and Coleman. But the speed, Mark, of this LSU football team tonight, different category compared to the Auburn Tigers.
Incomplete after the hard hit by Chad Jones. Intended for Emory Blake.
And John Chavis told us yesterday, as we look at Gus Malzahn, Chad Jones is becoming not a good safety, but a great safety. Chad Jones at about 235 pounds. Watch him break on this football right here. Really, the football should have been caught right there by Emory Blake.
Had his hands on it. Instead, Durst in for another punt, his 4th of the night. And Jones watches it bounce out of bounds. You know the other good thing about Chad Jones? He throws a heck of a slider, Davey.
Let me tell you something. He's going to be tackling guys on Sundays. He's not going to be throwing that slider after another season.
He can get some cheese over the plate. We'll see that on the other side. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Every 60 seconds, someone, somewhere, is making the switch to Tempur-Pedic. Now, it's your turn. Call now for your free information kit, including a Tempur material sample, along with a DVD and catalog. Traditional mattresses use metal springs that can cause pressure points, causing you to toss and turn. Only the Tempur-Pedic mattress automatically adjusts to your body while keeping your spine in perfect alignment. Plus, because Tempur-Pedic doesn't transfer motion, you won't disturb your partner when you get out of bed or shift positions. Best of all, Tempur-Pedic will let you sleep on one of their sleep systems for an incredible 90 nights before you make your purchase decision. If you want the ultimate in comfort, if you wish to get more sleep but can't, it's time you make the switch to Tempur-Pedic.
Call 1-800-913-6452 for your free information kit. That's 1-800-913-6452. Call today.
Well, we talked about Chad Jones's athletic prowess. Look at that bender. Oh, just buckling the knees of the batters. This was the scene in the College World Series, Bob.
Yeah, but 235 pounds. Throw the fastball. You see Les Miles, what's he doing? Finessing. What is he, a knuckleball?
Hey, you got to change up
Throw the
speed.
heat, man. He's 235 pounds. Played baseball for Paul Maneri here at LSU, who won the national championship. One of the best guys, great guys in the country, Paul Maneri, the LSU baseball coach.
Outstanding program here. Russell Shepard takes the handoff from Jordan Jefferson. Let's check in with Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you again. We go to Florida and Mississippi State. You don't see this all that often. Tim Tebow picked off and off to the races.
Really a poor decision to throw that ball. Somebody was in his face, just kind of lofted it up towards the end zone, got tipped there, and he paid the ultimate price for that one.
They're at the half. It's 13-10.
Wendy, the pass complete by Jefferson. Tolliver catching another ball, picking up 9 with 3:25 to go in the first half. Antonio Coleman, good news for Auburn, is back on the field, number 52.
Well, that's really good news, Mark. And LSU in a little bit of a hurry up right here. 2 timeouts left in the first half out of the empty formation right here.
Jordan Jefferson, a 19-year-old sophomore quarterback. Looking very sharp tonight. A flag thrown in the backfield. And Jefferson tiptoes out of bounds at the 40-yard line. We're going to have a hold here against LSU. Josh Dorsey. 3-yard pickup in the stand. Well, 2 NFC East rivals clash this week on ESPN's Monday Night Football. McNabb and the Eagles taking on Clinton Portis and Washington. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and it all starts with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's at 7 o'clock Eastern.
I'll tell you what, in that game, the owner controls it all, don't they? They just take the play calling away from Jim Zorn and give it to Sherman Lewis, who is retired. But Jim Zorn's still the head football coach, but the owner just said, you know what, I want someone else calling the plays.
Well, that doesn't bode well for Jim Zorn's job security, you would think. Take a look at that number. Jordan Jefferson with 152 yards of total offense, outdoing Auburn by himself. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Deep drop by Jefferson. He was hit as he let it go, and it's incomplete, intended for Brandon LaFell, but good pressure up front by Michael Goggins.
Michael Goggins beat the block of Charles Scott that time. Take a look at it right here. Goggins, the defensive end, comes right over the top of Charles Scott. And Charles Scott is a guy, Mark, who told us early in the season he's not in the business of going backwards. Well, I'll tell you what, Goggins took him backwards that time and ran right over the top of him.
Sets up a 2nd down and 20. Jefferson completes it, but tackled immediately as Charles Scott by Antonio Coleman.
And I'll tell you, there's a restlessness right now in Tiger Stadium because this LSU offense, Mark, is back out of sync like they've been all season. I would say that's restlessness.
Yeah.
Also, they're enjoying a little bite up there. But this LSU offense looks like it looked early in the season, not early in this game when they were clicking on all cylinders.
It's an offense that came in ranked last in the SEC, 112th in the country. Jefferson working out of the shotgun, 3rd and 21. And swarmed and sacked back at the 23-yard line. It'll be 4th and long. Sacks have been an issue with LSU of late. They gave up 5 against Florida 2 weeks ago in their defeat. A total of 11 in the last couple of weeks. And here's another one.
And how about Antonio Coleman back in the football game? Mark is going to get the sack. Again, this has been a problem because Jordan Jefferson hangs on to the football, but good to see Antonio Coleman back in the game. But wow, this LSU offense, and Mark, I get back to the storyline we started with. As talented as they are, what are they? And who have they established as their go-to guy? There's so many different weapons, but you don't see any of them on a consistent basis.
I got my PhD from LSU.
And I think that prepared me for my future life. The only way to control the AIDS epidemic, I believe, is through vaccinations. My primary activity in the HIV field is to try to develop a vaccine. And we have greater opportunities every day. We're dedicated to finding a way to develop a vaccine that works against AIDS.
Well, Josh Jasper, the usual place kicker for LSU, now punting because of the prior injury to Derek Helton a few moments ago.
Boy, and if you're Auburn, you need a special teams play because your offense has 36 yards for the football game tonight.
Wow. Pierre Lewis back for the punt for the Auburn Tigers, and he bobbled it. It's loose. LSU recovers. Danny McCray downfield for LSU, wrestling for that ball still. And it's LSU football, so they catch a break at Auburn's 36. And now a flag on the play.
Wow, we said Auburn needed a special teams play. This isn't what I had in mind, Mark. Pierre Lewis, a redshirt freshman wide receiver.
The result of the play is the first down, LSU.
LSU football, that's a 36-yard line with 1:42 to go and 2 of its timeouts remaining.
And anytime you're a new head football coach, what you want to see is progress, building on a solid foundation. You'll want to get better as the season goes on. This is Auburn's worst performance of the season. Just from a penalty standpoint, from a lack of execution standpoint, this will be reviewed right here.
You know, Auburn, Bob, is a team that doesn't need any kind of negative vibes. When you look at the 2-game losing streak and then going back to last year when they lost 6 of their last 7, how does Gene Chizik now deal with the psyche of his team, knowing what happened last year? Here's a
Mark, that's a great point. Let's take a look at this again right there. They're reviewing it. It looked to me like it did make contact with Pierre Lewis. McCray obviously recovered it. The only question is, did the ball make contact? And this should be a great shot of it right here. He signals fair catch.
You couldn't see it bounce in the maze of players that time. That kind of makes you question whether it did hit Pierre Lewis.
Well, which makes it inconclusive, and it was ruled a fumble on the field, so you'd have to think it will stand. But Mark, when you signal for fair catch, anytime you catch a punt, you have to get directly under the football. He kind of short-armed that a little bit. But Pierre Lewis, a redshirt freshman.
You would bet they're going to say this is inconclusive, that the ruling on the field would stand.
Ruling on the field stands. This is first down, LSU.
But Mark, you brought up a great point. Auburn lost 6 of their last 7 last year. Now keep in mind, Gene Chizik said it, 2009 is not 2008. But he does have his radar up for guys pointing fingers, guys showing bad body language, for it to start to unravel. Because that's what happened to him last year. Even though it was a different coaching staff, different issues. And right now, it's unraveling a little bit for Auburn.
1st and 10, LSU. Keelan Williams, and he was tripped up by himself at the 32. Let's go back to Wendy.
Mark, thank you. Coming up on the Outback Steakhouse halftime report, another milestone for Tim Tebow. The Crimson Tide roll on, and Todd McShay and Robert Smith join me with our Saturday Spotlight. We'll see you here at the half. Mark?
All right, Wendy. A 4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6 from the 32.
LSU with 2 timeouts. I'll tell you this, they're definitely taking their time. LSU is in no hurry right here.
See how the young quarterback Jefferson manages the clock here. Pulls it out on the side option, makes a great move. Down to the 22-yard line and a first down for LSU. Under a minute to go. A missed tackle on the play by Josh Bynes. A 9-yard gain as a result.
You're right, Mark. Josh Bynes had him dead to right out there in the open field. And that's been another big problem for this Auburn football team. This Auburn defense is missed tackles.
They really like to load up and have the second guy, Bob, come in and clean things up. But when they're both missing, it's a problem, right? First and 10. Jefferson looking downfield. Hit as he let it go. It got to its intended target, but the bounce negated the completion. Antoine Carter with good pressure for Auburn. 26 seconds to go. It's 2nd and 10.
Mark, that was really a good effort. You said it, Antoine Carter right there. She actually started against Kentucky at defensive end because Jordan Jefferson took a shot. He had an open receiver. He just couldn't get the football there.
2nd and 10. Jefferson completes it to Tolliver, who's quickly becoming one of his favorite targets. Down to the 15. Picks up 8 yards. It'll be 3rd and about 2 with 18 seconds to go.
And Mark, here's where you question a little bit the clock management right here. With LSU being so deliberate, now they have themselves in a situation where it's potentially a running down, but they only have 1 timeout and 18 seconds left. So if they would have been a little bit earlier, quick tempo, you know, they've got themselves kind of backed in a corner right here with only 1 timeout and 18 seconds with the football on the 15-yard line.
You get a couple of plays here. A chance to maybe get one into the end zone. 3rd and 2 coming up. And if it is a field goal, that would bring up the situation and give them a 17-0 advantage. And celebrating its 5th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goals Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed more than $1.9 million in scholarship monies.
Mark, it's 186 total yards for LSU and only 36 yards for this Auburn offense.
Still sputtering. And now Auburn is going to call a timeout. Now with just 1 remaining, like LSU.
See Ted Roof right there sporting those new glasses. But they've played with good effort tonight. This Auburn defense came into this football game under heat. You know, particularly had problems stopping the run late in the game against Kentucky. I think they've played pretty well tonight. They've had absolutely no help from the Auburn offense.
Bob, how do you reconcile having a high-tempo offense like Gus Malzahn runs as Auburn's offensive coordinator? Gene Chizik is a defensive-minded head coach. How do you bring it all together?
I think you bring up a very valid point. Gus Malzahn, when you hire Gus Malzahn, you're making a commitment to an up-tempo, very little time of possession offense. And on defense, you're going to struggle a little bit because you're going to be on that field a lot. And that doesn't really suit Auburn's personnel right now defensively because they are thin on defense. So it doesn't really fit. But moving forward, there's no question that Gus Malzahn and commit to that style of offense was the right system. They just have to get more players on defense.
On 3rd and 2, Jefferson. Incomplete. In and out of the arms of the intended receiver, Terrence Tolliver. That pass perhaps a little bit hot.
Yeah, Mark, this is an interesting decision. Les Miles is going to go ahead and take the field goal right now. I don't think he'll fake it, but you talk about a riverboat gambler now. Les Miles will roll the dice in these kicking situations.
Josh Jasper in to kick.
But one thing, Jared Lee sometimes is the holder, the backup quarterback. He's not the holder right now, so I don't think you can expect any unexpected things.
Never say never. 32-yard attempt. And Josh Jasper knocks it through to make it 17-0 with 9 seconds to go in the first half.
When I came to Auburn, I learned that the Auburn creed has inspired members of the Auburn family for generations. It begins with, I believe, that this is
a practical world, that I can count only on what I earn. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work.
I believe in a sound mind, in a sound body, and a spirit that is not afraid.
I believe in my country because it is a land of freedom.
And because Auburn men and women believe in these things, I believe in Auburn and love it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the SEC on ESPN Saturday night. Battle of Tigers, a couple of big cats, big felines on the field, and right now LSU leading 17-0 after that field goal by Josh Jasper a few moments ago. LSU coming in at 5-1 overall, 3-1 in conference play, still with hopes of playing in that SEC championship game. They got their eye perhaps on a game a couple of weeks from now at Alabama. Auburn, meanwhile, trying to snap out of a 2-game losing streak after starting the season 5-0. And Auburn pretty much playing for their hopes tonight of being in contention in the SEC West.
You really go back to that 5-0 start by Auburn. A lot of national attention, Mark. They made it up to the 17th ranked team in the country. On the verge right now of losing 3 straight SEC games. So critical right now at halftime to try to get something going if you're Gus Malzahn in this Auburn offense.
That pop-up kick comes down to the 30-yard line, fielded by Trott. Well, we talk about Tigers, Bob. Hey, the biggest cat on the field tonight, you know who that is, right? Big Mike. Mike number 6. Mike the Tiger.
I'm going to tell you, man, Mike's penthouse, the habitat that he lives in is unbelievable. I mean, I'm serious now.
It's the Ritz-Carlton for Tigers.
Oh, man, that's as good as you got it now. $3.7 million to build that facility for Mike the Tiger.
If he'd cut his nails, I'd move in with him. 1st and 10 for Auburn. On the give to Ben Tate. Ben Tate was the only semblance of offense that Auburn had a week ago, and a very anemic, weak, lifeless Auburn offense right now, accounting for just 43 yards as they go into halftime. Gus Malzahn going to try and find a couple new buttons to press. 17-0 at the break. Let's go to the Outback Steakhouse halftime report and Wendy Nix.
Thank you so much, Mark Jones. I'm joined, as always, by Todd McShay and Robert Smith. Todd, before the onset of this one, you said Jordan Jefferson would be the most important player on the field for LSU. What are your observations after one half of play?
I thought this was one of the best halves of football that he's played in his college career. You look at the efficiency he had, not turning the ball over. The last drive wasn't great, but before that, he was really throwing the ball efficiently, spreading it out to different receivers. He's 14 of 20 for 138 yards and a touchdown. Also rushed for a touchdown in the first half. That's why LSU, I believe, has a commanding lead right now.
Yeah, when you look at the other side of the ball and what Auburn has not been able to do today, you really have to be concerned about the mental state of this team right now. You had the tough loss to Arkansas, the loss to Kentucky, and now they seem completely out of sorts. And the worst part about the way that they look today, and you can hear those guys talking about it. You can hear Bob Davie talking about this, obviously being a former coach. He knows this very well. The guys just seem mentally to be out of the game. And you can see that with the types of penalties that they've been getting. When you have guys jumping offside, miss a line, all those kind of dumb things that can happen in a game, you really start to think that they're not completely focused. And when things start to go bad in those games, you're concerned because they think this is the exact same thing that we did last year, and then they just quit on themselves.
Meanwhile, the #1 team in the country, the Florida Gators, on the road at Mississippi State. Dan Mullen, the first-year head coach, the former offensive coordinator for Gators.
Jump around.
Already, we hadn't even started. Second quarter tied at 3. Tim Tebow on the carry, 26 yards, and that will tie Herschel Walker's record in the SEC for rushing touchdowns.
Nice little stiff arm there, too, at the end.
The final seconds of the first half, though, this is not nice, at least not what he wanted to do. Tebow intercepted by Jonathan Banks. 100 yards, that ties a school record on the return, 13-10 Florida.
It was 13-3 drive. It could have been 20-3 at the half. Now all of a sudden you're stuck in a ball game with Mississippi State.
Speaking of chippy, Lane Kiffin, Nick Saban back and forth all week. Today these two teams to try and settle it on the field. We'll take a look at this game coming up after the break. That's Mount Cody. He did something
This
right.
halftime report is presented by Outback Steakhouse. Live adventurous. Go Outback.
Make your skin irresistible to touch. Axe Skin Contact Shower Gels. Also available for sensitive skin.
I asked for blueberries and soy yogurt.
Somebody, do something!
Help me, keep me from harm. Won't you help me, baby, take me in. Won't you help me? Hey, there's a dog on your roof. Raise the roof, dog. So come and take me home.
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
Mrs. Lewis, I have an offer to make. If you push the button first, you will receive a payment of $1 million. Second, someone in the world will die.
We have to save your son or your wife is gonna die. How's she gonna die? You're going to kill her.
There are always consequences.
The Fox, rated PG-13, starts November 6th.
Welcome back to the Outback Steakhouse halftime report.
Nick Saban and number 2 Alabama hosting Tennessee. Saban 4-1 against the Vols in his tenure in Tuscaloosa, and he really wants this one, I suspect, for no other reason perhaps than to keep his team undefeated. Terrence Cody here bursts up the middle, gets the block. It's the second missed field goal of the game by Daniel Lincoln. Saban likes that. Greg McElroy here looking for Roy Upchurch over the middle.
Ref getting in the way.
Yeah, he did, but he stopped short of the first down as well. Tide forced to settle for another field goal. Under 2 minutes on the clock here, Jonathan Crompton to Gerald Jones in the end zone.
Straight out of Crompton, had a big game. Really, the last 2 games out, he's been more efficient throwing the ball, spreading it around, been impressed.
Ensuing onside kick here, Denarius Moore. The recovery for Tennessee, and they are still alive, and they know it. Less than a minute to play. Your boy Crompton here looks deep over the middle. Luke Stockton, whoa, fakes the hit, but holds on. And that puts the Volunteers in field goal range. Here we go. And it is Cody again. He's a big boy. He gets a big block. Bama wins 12-10. Colt McCoy, not the numbers of 2008, but that's all right. His team is undefeated, and he wants to play for a national championship. First drive for the Longhorns. McCoy, Jordan Shipley, he breaks the tackle, runs for the 32-yard gain.
Shipley's always his go-to receiver. It's just finding him, getting back into a comfort zone. Finally seeing Colt McCoy the way we expected him this season. Getting the ball out quickly, finding McCoy there for the score.
Later in the first quarter, again, Texas on the move. Fozzie Whitaker runs outside, dives inside the pylon for the 11-yard score. Texas leading Mizzou 21-7. Only top 25 matchup in the BCS standings today. It's TCU and BYU. A big day. College game day is there. Andy Dalton here off to Ryan Christian, who flips it to Curley on the reverse to Bart Johnson. And that's a nice play by the Horned Frogs.
Didn't even need the Curley shuffle there. Just threw a nice little pass. There's a little trickeration out of Gary Patterson's offense.
Here we are on the same drive. Dalton to Ed Wesley right in the flat. Breaks it. 28 yards. He'll dive in for the score. This touchdown would be reviewed, so we too will take another look.
Well, he takes off inbounds. Remember, the goal line extends around the world, so if you take off inbounds and that ball crosses the plane of the goal line, it's a touchdown.
Well, UConn's Jasper Howard being honored Saturday as UConn was on the road at number 23 West Virginia. Howard lost his life last Saturday. Head coaches Randy Edsall and Bill Stewart hug at midfield. Howard's jersey and helmet present on the sidelines. Both teams observed a moment of silence. Corey Andrus to Marcus Easley. He will do the rest. taking it all the way back, and the Huskies have a 3-point advantage.
And UConn had just thrown an interception, and Beasley came back in and had a huge play, stripping the ball, getting the ball back, and then obviously there for the score. He had a monster fourth quarter.
We often say it. In this case, it really was true. It was score, answer, score, answer. You see here Noel Devine, a tight rope to the sideline. He will score. West Virginia back out in front. Here's UConn, and that, though, ended the trend. It's intercepted, and an emotional game, no question, for Randy Edsall and his team.
We're a good football team. And, you know, the love and the compassion that they have for each other is unmatched. And it's a hurt locker room. It's a hurt locker room. But we will move forward. We will be stronger. But it's tough to take.
Certainly our thoughts are with the UConn family. A big tilt in the ACC with a lot of implications. Clemson and Miami, this was an offensive showcase for both teams. We'll show you after this.
Searching for something really fresh? Well, you don't have to sail around the world to get it. Just think Australian. Cruise into Outback Steakhouse and try a variety of delicious entrees made just for you and only $9.95 each. Like our juicy signature sirloin, aged and seared to perfection. Or with our tasty grilled shrimp on the barbie. Each served with our famous freshly made sides at just $9.95. At these prices, you can sail in every day. Live adventurous. Go Outback.
Follow the drive to the national championship on ESPN on College Football Final. You'll see all the big plays, the shocking upsets, and the great escapes that happen every week on the drive to the national championship. Saturdays at midnight on ESPN.
It's Week 7 on Sunday NFL Countdown. Now you see it, now you don't. How Brett Favre and Big Ben are using the pump fake to fool defenders. Plus, one city, 2 point guards.
As he's played over the years, he's had to continue to overcome those boundaries, and I've been the same way.
Drew Brees and Chris Paul give their secrets to spreading the ball around. It's all ahead on Sunday NFL Countdown tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Now let's send it on to Mike Tirico.
Well, Chris, very interesting story in Washington. The Redskins off to a slow offensive start, guys, at 2-4. Have made a play-calling change to try to jumpstart the offense. Head coach Jim Zorn not going to call the plays. Sherm Lewis, longtime NFL assistant, retired 5 years. He'll be calling the plays. Hard job to step right into, John.
Hard. The Philadelphia Eagles are very talented. We know that. But I think the Redskins need to concentrate on executing the plays that are called instead of worrying about who calls them.
Yeah, this will be a real challenge for Jason Campbell because normally the signal caller understands the quarterback. He understands his strengths, his weaknesses. Sherman Lewis has been here 2 weeks. He can't know Jason Campbell very well.
Things aren't perfect in Philadelphia either. The Eagles lost at Oakland last week. We'll see how Donovan McNabb's team bounces back Monday night at 8:30 Eastern.
Thank you, gentlemen. Jimmy Clausen and Notre Dame hosting Boston College, the final year of this series for a few. Second quarter, Notre Dame trailing by 3. Clausen to Golden Tate, who goes across the plane, makes the catch. Notre Dame up 13-9 at the half.
Remember when it had to be Michael Floyd in key situations? Golden Tate has turned into a huge playmaker in this offense.
4th and goal at the 1 here. Robert Hughes, the direct snap, gets stuffed just before the goal line, so the Eagles clinging to that 3-point lead. And that's where we are later in the 4th quarter. But again, that same duo, Jimmy Clausen, Golden Tate, this is working well.
Well, you take a chance in the secondary trying to make the tackle there. You have to know the situation, have to know there's nobody behind you there. Got to make the play.
Under 2 minutes to play here. Dave Shinsky, perhaps with a chance to make a name for himself the way Clausen has done all season long leading comebacks. That won't do it. Intercepted by Brian Smith. So the Irish escape with the 2016 win. Clemson and Miami. Jasper Howard honored here as well by Ja'Cory Harris. Miami trailing 31-27. A lot of offense here. Harris deep to Travis Benjamin. Will he Catch it. Oh, yeah. Miami up 34-31.
Oh, that's a pass to C.J. Spiller right there.
That is C.J. Spiller. He, too, had a huge afternoon. At one point, 90-plus yard return. A big, big day for C.J. Spiller.
And this is the pass to Travis Benjamin right here.
Talk about responding.
Well, you had press coverage on the outside there. The safety got his nose up into the line of scrimmage. And with a guy with the speed of Travis Benjamin, if he breaks free in the secondary, nobody's going to catch
It's
him.
one of the most exciting games of all today, Saturday college football. Just the track meet in the second half. Back and forth, playmaker after playmaker. And you're going to see here a young quarterback in Parker really coming into his own.
Well, and you will also see a Clemson team tie it up. This one would have to be settled in overtime. It was 34 all, which is 5 seconds on the clock. So we go to OT. Miami kicks a field goal to lead by 3, but the Tigers aren't going to go quietly.
Boy, just an unbelievable game. Looks a lot like that Florida State game earlier in the year.
That's a big win for Clemson. Number 7 USC in Pac-10 action facing Oregon State. James Rogers here gets the handoff, breaks it outside. Josh Pinkard able to strip it. Everson Griffin, and that's a nice play by the Trojans.
You remember a year ago, this is the trap game. They went to Corvallis, USC did, and the Rogers brothers really ate them up. So that was a good feeling early to get the strip. And then Matt Barkley throwing to Anthony McCoy. I think the best tight end in the country right now. USC's playing well, 14-6.
Just about 4 minutes to go before the half. Jake Locker in Washington hosting their neighbor to the south. It's Oregon. Washington lining up to punt here. It is blocked by Rory Cavell and recovered in the end zone.
Well, that's not the way you're supposed to act as a guest, is it?
Not very hospitable, perhaps, or maybe it is hospitable. Jake Locker again here. Washington trying to answer 4th and goal from the Oregon 2, picked off by James Lewis.
Forget all that offense. It's defense and special teams for the Ducks. Jake Locker, bad decision there. Oregon makes him pay.
I think the decision by Steve Sarkisian to call the play was the worst part of it. 2
interceptions on the afternoon for Locker. Jeremiah Masoli, the fake there, finds DJ Davis. Oregon, remember week 1? Doesn't seem possible. 43-19. A big win. See how you're faring predicting the outcomes of today's game. Play College Pick'em presented by Outback Steakhouse. Log on to ESPN.com. Search Outback to play. Jordan Jefferson, according to Todd McShay, having the best first half of his season. Well, his team's on top, 17-0. We're back after a quick break.
This is a special announcement. The public is entitled to purchase cars and homes seized by police and bank agents. An inventory of cars and homes are available now and will be sold to the public. Call 800-620-6812. Cars available from $500. Homes available from $199 a month. Down payment assistance available for those who qualify. For listings in your area, call 800-620-6812. That's 800-620-6812. Call 800-620-6812.
So, it's a typical morning when suddenly you see built Ford tough trucks. The ground starts rumbling like it just struck oil, and you know what? You did hit pay dirt because it's Ford Truck Month. And leading this herd is the Ford F-150. It's not just a truck, it's an F-150. And with great power comes great fuel economy. No wonder it was named 2009 Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
Just announced. Now get an F-150 and save even more with 0% APR for 60 months or $6,500 total cash back. It's the final days of Truck Month. See your local Southern Quality Ford dealer today.
Hi, welcome to Raising Cane's.
Thanks.
You know, Cane's is all about one love.
What's one love?
It's chicken fingers that are always fresh, never, ever frozen. A friendly crew, a fun atmosphere, and a perfect chicken finger meal every time. That is one love. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love! You know, you're getting pretty good at this.
This halftime report is presented by Outback Steakhouse. Live adventurous. Go Outback.
Well, perhaps Dan Mullen knows his former team well. 9.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Mississippi State has kicked a 31-yard field goal to tie it up. They got the Gators right where they want them. Time now, though, for our Saturday Spotlight. We do it every week right about this time, and we begin with Robert Smith.
Well, you know, it's difficult to even imagine what this UConn team had to go through emotionally since the senseless killing of Jasper Howard last week. But looking at this game today and a couple plays by Marcus Easley, receiver there for UConn, you know, it really showed the dedication and the determination. This is after an interception. He gets a strip on this play, and then they recover the ball, and then you see him score on a long touchdown play. 5 catches, 157 yards. It was in a losing effort, but his 3rd straight 100-yard game, just really proud of him.
Yeah, a lot to be proud of if you're a UConn fan today. How about C.J. Spiller? I think he showed today why he's going to be the first running back taken in 2010 draft. You see there the kick return, 90 yards, the speed, and then the versatility on the touchdown catch played a huge role in Clemson going down to Miami and getting the upset win. Big win in the ACC.
Well, back to the Big East. You know, Bill Stull last year threw more interceptions than touchdowns, but another big day from him today. 18 of 25, 245 yards. You can see that. That gives him 16 touchdowns against only 4 interceptions for the year. I think we need to start talking Heisman.
Mark May's going to love you tonight.
Bill Stull and his running back, Dion Lewis, is just a freshman. You're right. They've got a balanced attack there. How about the defense and the special teams for Alabama? And how about Mount Cody? 6'5", 354 pounds, 2 blocks, and absolutely dominates the line of scrimmage. And then the big fella, enough energy still to celebrate at the end of that game. That's 354 pounds of joy. Huge block kicks, though. Saves the day for Alabama. And you look at this offense, 4 field goals, they still get the win because that defense and special teams.
There are days that could have come back to haunt you. Alabama gets away with it, but I beg to differ. 6'5", I'm told 365 pounds. I think he's got every one of them.
And he can dunk.
And he can dunk.
He ate that dunk he wasn't supposed to this morning.
Jordan Jefferson, 14 of 20, 138 yards, and a touchdown in the first half. Will there be more where that came from? Second half on the way.
It's not just car people anymore. Nowadays, all kinds of folks are changing their own oil. And with Walmart's unbeatable prices, they're changing where they get it too. You could save 30% or more on these top motor oil brands compared to the leading national auto specialty stores. Do-it-yourself costs less at Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
If you're in debt to the IRS for $10,000 or more, you don't have to take desperate measures to settle your account. All you have to do is put the right people to work for you. And that's as simple as calling this number. You'll speak to a tax expert who can help you negotiate a settlement that's significantly less than the actual amount you owe.
They saved my business.
I owed $30,000 and paid a fraction of it.
Call this number and get your case settled for less. Now, you only have a small window of time to settle, so act now.
In a row against their rivals from Auburn. Welcome back to this presentation of the SEC on ESPN as we get ready for the start of the 3rd quarter. A daunting task ahead for the Auburn Tigers trying to come back. And this week, as part of Davy Jones' locker, well, you know what? Everything is always so festive around the state of Louisiana. In fact, the state hosts some 600 different festivals during the course of the year, bringing in millions of dollars to the local economy, Bob Davy. But when it comes to locally, Mardi Gras is all about Tiger Gras. Okay, these are yours. You can have these ones. I mean, it's got to be a very intimidating scene when you're an opponent coming in trying to take on a team like whoever is playing against your LSU.
You know what? It's one of the great places to play in college football. But what is different about it, they really do try to intimidate you here. And I'm talking about everybody in unison. From the time that bus pulls up before the game, one of the great scenes in all of college football. Then you look at this little locker room they put you in. You know, you got a bunch of guys crammed in there together, and then you leave that locker room and go into this vast stadium. But, you know, it's kind of the intimidation factor. But one thing I'll say about that, Mark, I think think it can bring the best out in your football team, because it really is us against the world when you come down here and play them. So you eliminate all distractions. You eliminate all the petty things that happen sometimes with the football team, because if you don't, you won't survive. I remember 1997 we came down here. We were struggling in Notre Dame. My first game as a head coach, we came in here and played a game, did not have a penalty, did not have a turnover. I think the only time in the history of Notre Dame football, because this place is so intimidating, it really focuses your football team. And I think it can bring out the best in an opponent, to be quite honest.
The kickoff return, boy, all the way back into Auburn territory, Bob. I tell you, Auburn needs some of that unifying spirit that you had in '97 here with Notre Dame. Did you like my beans, by the way?
I do, Mark. Yeah.
You feeling that a little bit?
I like that little tiger deal you got going on there, too. But what happens, honestly and seriously, in this stadium, if it starts to get away from you, that's when this crowd can really be a factor. So, I mean, it's 17-0. It's been all LSU. They need right now to get a stop if you have any chance to win this football game.
Not to beat up the intimidation factor anymore, but what about that lore about the bus? They work that bus, the visiting bus, a little bit?
Man, they start that tiger bait stuff up as you come through the campus, the LSU fans. And it's really something, if you prepare your team right, they look forward to. I mean, it's truly a great atmosphere to play.
There's Charles Scott on 1st down and 10 inside the 45 down to the 44. Take a look at the numbers from the first half. Boy, that offense for Auburn, just a total of, well, not many. 80 yards passing last week. Not much more this week.
Yeah, Mark, I mean, Auburn with only 27 plays in the first half for 42 yards, only 10 yards in the second quarter. You know, you add in the turnovers, the penalties. I mean, Auburn's lucky they haven't been blown out of Tiger Stadium.
Jordan Jefferson looking downfield, finds his man. It's going to be caught, actually incomplete at the 28-yard line, intended for Brandon LaFell.
And if you're LSU and you're Les Miles at halftime, you're talking about we really have not played that well. I mean, we've had great opportunities. There's another example right there. Brandon LaFell, maybe the first player drafted in the NFL draft as a wide receiver, just had the ball bounce off his chest.
Sets up a 3rd down and 8. Empty formation for Jefferson. He started off this game clicking on all cylinders offensively. Caught. And a 1st down at the 18-yard line. That's Trindon Holiday, the fastest man in college football. Showing some good hands that time to pick up 25 yards.
Yeah, and again, Jordan Jefferson had great pressure from Antonio Coleman, the defensive end from Auburn. Watch right here, Mark. I mean, it's the courageous guy now. I mean, he steps up and throws that football. The ball's kind of underthrown. Holiday comes back to the football. Nico Thorpe again.
I know there are a couple of people in Florida arguing with the fact that I said the fastest man in college football, but nobody has run the 100 meters faster than him at 10 flat that plays college football. Jefferson into the end zone. Touchdown, LaFell.
Well, Brandon LaFell shows you why a lot of people say he'll be the first receiver drafted, Mark. He went up over top of Walter McFadden. Walter McFadden, a really good corner, been battling a knee injury he had against Arkansas, about 90%. But Brandon LaFell went up over top of him.
It's a 6-touchdown catch of the season, 20th of his career. The extra point good is 24-0. And LaFell, Bob, you mentioned his talent in the NFL relative to it. He actually declared for the draft last year, but changed his mind. A good thing for Jordan Jefferson on this play.
Yeah, I mean, that was poorly played by Walter McFadden right there. But, man, if they get this guy going right here, Mark, they get confidence in number 9 again. Alabama in 2 weeks. The winner of that game in the SEC championship. The possibilities and the potential unlimited for this LSU Tiger football team.
LSU at 5-1 coming in. Their lone loss so far this season against Florida. And Les Miles, the head coach, has told his team, remember that sting of defeat a couple of weeks ago and use it to narrow the gap between ourselves and Florida. Things certainly looking golden right now. Look at the Golden Girls, part of LSU football lore. That would qualify as festive. This whole scene inside Tiger Stadium. This is going to give Auburn some good field position.
Everything was going positive. The stadium's rocking.
That's buzzkill right there. That's how you take the air out of the balloon.
I mean, Josh didn't even come close to keeping that between the white lines.
He's got a friend in Brandon LaFell out there at least.
Well, he doesn't
before
have
the slow walk over to the coach.
Here,
though,
here comes the coach now. Yeah, there you go. A little comment.
Les Miles, very economical with his words, but I'm sure his message got across. Auburn starts off on its own 40-yard line. Time to see how they respond, how they deal with adversity. And Tate with a nice run up to the 45. He got 5. An all-SEC selection a season ago.
This Auburn offense, I mean, well documented. 314 yards against Kentucky, the lowest of the season. The week before, 375 against Arkansas. Right now, they're sitting at about 50 yards total offense for this football game.
Second and 5 coming up. A motion up front and a flag on the field. Bob, you talked about the lack of offensive production by Auburn the last couple of weeks. You talked earlier in the first half about teams playing base defense, and what kind of adjustment is that in layman's terms?
Well, if you look at the stats, Mark, I mean, this Auburn offense has had 6 plays over 60 yards this year. They didn't have a play last year, Auburn, over 60 for the entire season. Auburn was a big play offense early in the season. So they're doing all this window dressing, all these different motions up tempo. It still comes down to if you can eliminate the big play against them, they don't have many places to go. So if they don't have the big play, they become very average. So teams are sitting back, really just playing with 2 safeties deep and playing bend but don't break. I mean, all the trickeration's over by this point in the season. We're in the 7th game of the year. I mean,
a lot of film out there, huh?
Yeah, it comes down to players and execution now.
Bob, Auburn's longest play tonight is a mere 15 yards. 2nd and 1. Ben Tate again. Got the first down. Boy, Ben Tate running hard and authoritatively all the way down to the 42 of LSU.
And Mark, we keep talking about it. It's unrealistic. I mean, Auburn's 8th in the nation in total offense. But when you look at who they played, you know, they had 556 against Louisiana Tech, 589 Mississippi State, 560 Ball State. Now, they did have 459 against Tennessee, which is very impressive. But, man, they're in the meat of the SEC. You can forget about those 500-yard games now. I mean, it's just not happening in this league.
1st and 10 for Auburn. Ben Tate finds a nice crease off the left side of the offensive line, and Tate with another first down inside the 30 to the 28 where Chad Jones makes the stop, but Ben Tate got 14 yards.
You know what, schemes can change, Mark, from year to year, but the best players are still the best players, and Ben Tate is still Auburn's best player. I mean, that's a nimble move right there for a 235 or 240-pound back. You know, he had 903 yards in 07, 664 last year. So regardless of the scheme, he's still their guy.
Talented senior. On the toss, this is McCaleb. Actually, Bannon And Fannin inside the 25 picked up 4. Well, as the chase hits the halfway point, Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon will look to close the gap on current points leader. Jimmy Johnson, at NASCAR's best, head to the shortest track on the circuit. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues at Martinsville. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern on ABC, 10 a.m. Pacific, presented by Goodyear. Second and 6.
The crowd senses this no huddle, man. They're not only loud, they're smart, these crowds in the SEC. They know when they can be a factor.
It's savvy. Todd on a play fake. Has a man incomplete. At the 7-yard line, Eric Smith. A 17-yard gain. It's going to be 1st and goal for the first time tonight for Auburn.
They come with the wheel route out of the backfield. Smith lined up, Mark, at running back. You're going to see him right there. Really good throw by Chris Todd.
From the 7. Then Tate straight ahead. And Tate inside the 5. Got about 3 on the play. Had a chance to speak with Ben Tate's father last year. He is a devoted football fan, watching his son play. Actually, one game they ran out of rooms at the local hotel or motel. He actually slept in his car. Told him, hey, I'm not missing this game.
Yeah, he's from Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Ben Tate went to high school in Maryland. Came on down south to play college football. He's had a great career.
Cody Burns in at quarterback now for Auburn. Burns keeps it. Broke 1 tackle, but not that second. Is tackled back at the 7 by Jacob Kutera. Ventrera with a nice stop for LSU. A loss of 3 on the play.
You know, this LSU defense, Mark, we had them the first game of the year out in Seattle. They gave up 23. They've only given up 12.8 a game since that opening game in Seattle.
Todd back in. And it's incomplete at the 2-yard line, intended for Darvin Adams. Hey, Adams is a name that has been conspicuous by his silence tonight, as it's now 4th and goal. Adams is the team's leader in terms of actual receptions. It's 4th down coming up.
Yeah, they are really thin at wide receiver. Auburn sets up a field goal opportunity right here.
They're going to spot it at the, well, just inside the 15-yard line. Wes Byram. 11-12 on the season. This one from 25. He puts Auburn on the scoreboard with 9:21 to go in the 3rd quarter. Coach Chiswick saying, well, guys, it's a start. We'll be
Appetizers, gentlemen.
I'll start with the steak tartare.
And you, sir?
I'll have the same. But hold the tartare sauce.
The tartare sauce? Really?
I don't like it.
The more you save on insurance, the more you'll have for football. Drivers who switch their home and auto to Allstate saved an average of $503 a year. Are you in good hands?
Ooh, creamy brulee.
Jimmy here. Hey, what's wrong with your old jam box? It doesn't have Bud Light inside. Introducing the Bud Light speaker box. Simply plug in your MP3 player and... Uh-oh, I hear a party.
My tailgate party rocks, thanks to Speaker Box.
Keep on dancing, football fans. Tailgate approved.
I'm the wing king from Buffalo, man.
These guys didn't know they were eating Wing Street wings from Pizza Hut.
That actually is an award winner. It's still good.
It has a nice crunch to it.
I can easily pound 50.
I got a little secret to tell you. These wings are all Wing Street wings from Pizza Hut.
Introducing Wing Street Wings from Pizza Hut. Now you can have a real wing night at home with 8 intense flavors from buffalo burning hot to honey barbecue.
They rock.
Pizza Hut, America's favorite for pizza, pasta, and wings. Now order on your iPhone.
Call Consolidated Credit.
They'll get the credit card companies to reduce or eliminate your interest.
Call 800-440-5217.
Consolidated Credit. When credit card debt is the problem, they're the solution.
What defines a champion? Courage, character, drive, teamwork, dedication. These are the virtues of heroes. And as we hope for the best in them, hope is reborn in us. The SEC is proud to honor and support the athletes of Special Olympics. Be inspired. Be a fan.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes when it comes to the football game, Bob Davey, the MVP is Old Smoky. That's the barbecue. I mean, are those might be Brontosaurus burgers, man.
Yeah.
Those are some thick bad boys right there. You got to cook those slow, though. It's got to be a real slow, low fire, or else you burn the outside and the inside is raw.
You're getting in an area you don't know anything about.
You've changed on me going with this health diet, man. I barely know you anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Kickoff, a shallow one down to the 40-yard line. Kelvin Shepard, the linebacker, fields it. Wendy Nix, what's your favorite barbecue food, huh?
Mark, any barbecue I don't have to cook myself. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt and South Carolina, that's Stephen Garcia to Alshon Jeffrey, 43 yards in the touchdown, 14-10 South Carolina at Williams-Brice.
All right, well, you know, I was going to ask Wendy, you know, a little barbecue action for us, but I guess she's out. Well, we could cook for her, Bob.
Wendy went to Furman. I guess those Furman girls don't cook, right? You get a degree from Furman, you're not cooking.
You make reservations. This is Russell Shepard on the carry. Freeman making the stop. 9:05 to go in the third quarter. Auburn finally getting the board in the last drive. That was a loss of 2 on the play. If you're just joining us, LSU came out firing on all cylinders offensively in the first quarter, jumping out to a very quick 14-0 lead. Second and 12. Jefferson incomplete, in and out of the arms of Russell Shepard, who should have caught that. And by the way, I think Wendy Nix went to Wofford. It was Wofford, yeah.
She did. Furman's a rival.
Oh, so now you really got her mad at us.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Wendy, it was Bob. It wasn't me. No barbecue for Bob, and I'll cook for you and I, Wendy.
That's good memory for you about bringing up the Wofford. You're exactly right on that.
Third down and 12 coming up. Jefferson working out of the shotgun. Slinging it downfield, has a man. And it's caught. What a grab by Ruben Randall, the freshman. A 31-yard pickup and no hesitancy on the part of Jordan Jefferson, Bob.
Well, they talk about the #1 recruit in the country at wide receiver. Again, he goes up over Walter McFadden. Ruben Randall, true freshman. Mark, he was a quarterback his senior year in high school, but as a junior had all kind of pass receiving yardage when he played wide receiver. There's some talent. There is some talent. That's an understatement on this football team.
This could be a pivotal and turning point, a good one for LSU offensively. Here's LaFell on the reverse and nowhere to go. Brought down, a loss on the play back at the 33. Antoine Carter making the stop for Auburn with under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. A loss of 8 on the play. Bob, we might be seeing the maturation, the growing up right before our very eyes of Jordan Jefferson. Very efficient tonight, not spectacular, but he's passed well. 17 of 25 for 211 yards and a couple of touchdown passes.
And something they've done, Mark, and Les Miles told us during the open date they would do it, throw the ball down the field. I mean, they've thrown the ball vertically and taking advantage of those big, tall receivers. You know, Richard Dixon set all kind of records as a tight end as a receiver here, but as a team, the height of these wide receivers, they're all tall for LSU. You know, big, tall, good-looking receivers. You said it. I mean, Jordan Jefferson, as he matures through this year, this will be an explosive offense.
Remember last year LSU went through a juggling act with quarterbacks.
Covered up by the outside man. That penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay second down.
Penalty against LSU. Going to play this one over again. Jordan Jefferson, a young man who turned 19 just as the college football season began back at the end of August. Told me that he likes watching the videotape of Donovan McNabb and Peyton Manning, and collegiately enjoys watching Sam Bradford, although Bradford looks like he's going to be on the shelf for quite some time to come.
Boy, that is a sad, sad story, isn't it? Sam Bradford coming back. How about Oklahoma? Taking the hits they have taken. Got a big win today, I believe, against Kansas.
We approach the midway point of the college football season. Good time to take inventory. Jefferson going up top and incomplete. Good coverage back there by Nico Thorpe, covering Terrence Tolliver.
Again,
well, and now it's
the ball down the field, Mark.
Yeah. Bob, let's see who's winging it. Brought to you by Pizza Hut Wing Street, and Jordan Jefferson, 18 of 27. Shirley winging it, 220 yards, a couple of touchdown passes. And this is a young man that's used to winning. He won a state championship back in high school.
You know, the knock on Jordan Jefferson, still a little bit, he has a little bit of a wind-up in his release. You know, he doesn't get rid of it real quick. He kind of winds up. That's just going to be a process of evolution, you know.
Here's what he goes. Here's what he does. Tolliver in and out of his hands. It was jarred loose by Walter McFadden.
Yeah, you said it, Mark. That's a great play by Walter McFadden. We can take a look at that again. He never looked back to the ball at all because he was beat. He just kept his concentration on the receiver and had one thing on his mind. That was stripping that football out of there. That was a great play of just playing the ball out of Tolliver's hands.
So McFadden right there, the so-called speaker box. He talks the most on the defense. His play did the talking here.
Yeah, Mark, this is a great play. Watch. He never thinks about making a play on the ball, just stripping the ball once Tolliver put his hands on it.
It was interesting that McFadden said a few weeks ago when they were sitting at 4-0 that I'm still not ready to buy stock in us yet, echoing the sentiments of his coach. And he might have had a little bit of foresight, knowing that they've stumbled since. A delay of game penalty against LSU.
But it's amazing. It was the same feeling we had out in Seattle watching LSU, Mark. And even though that was the first game of the year, you keep waiting for them to just totally explode. Click on all.
Team that remarkably spotted.
I'm going to college online to get the right online college.
Right there.
now advantage Chavis. Nowhere to go this.
Third down, but the incompletion right there turns it into a punting situation.
Latte today.
Knock Holmes out. He don't stand a chance.
After every fight, I said, "That's your last fight." He said, "No, I know. I got to stop. I want to stop." And he did.
I always come through. I always figure out something.
A week. Follow your favorite team no matter where you live. Tune in and the A-League passes the
Say scratch off. Ultimate ticket for the
Jefferson.
They've thrown the ball consistently here in the second half. A big part of that.
Russell Shepard, this is the promise that they talk.
effort, trying to get him touches.
People go to college.
VacationMatching.com.
He just creased it. You know.
Check on the number
cheese stuffed mezzaluna ravioli with shrimp and white wine cream sauce or with grilled sausage, starting at $9.95 at Olive.
Everyone in that's
Nine four eight.
And coming care of business. Sixth punt of the night. One by Jordan Jefferson. The disappointment.
You know, Mark. Both with
this year with Tim Tebow getting hurt against Kentucky, the concussion. At what point do you start thinking about taking him out of the game?
No, you know what?
Yards out. Josh. Called a little bit dazed. Lost his helmet.
Based on what's ahead. No passing game to speak of. That did
So you the light guy, huh?
Yeah. He just refers to the style of
$20.
Welcome back. As this Auburn receptions.
Martinsville.
next week they're going to win. I forget who they have, a non-conference team that they should handily beat. Then they play Tulane next week, which is a rivalry game, but they're going to be huge favorites. Then they go to Alabama. They get another chance like they had here against Florida 2 weeks ago to have just a marquee game that can vault in back into the national picture big time.
A lot of people, Bob, who support this LSU program harken back to a couple of years ago as Trendon Holiday takes the handoff. Harken back to a couple of years ago when they lost to Kentucky midway through the season, and after that loss, the offense really took off on their way to a national championship. This is what the remainder of their schedule looks like. As you mentioned, Tulane, then the pivotal one at Alabama.
I mean, that really sets up well, doesn't it? You have Tulane before the huge Alabama game. You get Louisiana Tech before the Ole Miss game. Then you have Arkansas at home. I mean, that sets up about perfect for them. It all comes down to how they execute. Can they live up to their potential?
When you look at the BCS standings, punt coming here, should they run the table, they'd build up enough of a strength of schedule element that would vault them right into the national championship.
Legitimate argument, Mark.
Obama and Biden, huh?
So, honey, you know that guy at the bank we met with? I like that idea you had about
running a marathon. I'm saving for retirement. I got plans. I'm thinking of
liking the work. The amount of money I save on gas, I've been able to
take hotel shampoo bottles when I travel. I haven't paid for that stuff in years.
At Citi, we know everyone's talking about saving. And we've got lots of ways to help. With smart ideas like autosave. Because when you save a little today, it makes you feel good about tomorrow. That's why Citi never sleeps.
Grilled Nation is 60 million strong and counting.
So, let's celebrate.
And this Monday, you can try one free piece of Kentucky Grilled Chicken.
Whoa, it's free.
So come to KFC on the 26th and try that fall off the bone taste for free.
It's free.
It's not just car people anymore. Nowadays, all kinds of folks are changing their own oil. And with Walmart's unbeatable prices, they're changing where they get it too. You could save 30% or more on these top motor oil brands compared to the leading national auto specialty stores. Do-it-yourself costs less at Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
This fall, don't just get more out of your tires. Get more back from your tires. Because with Cooper's National Take the Money and Ride Fall event, you'll not only get unbeatable performance, you'll get a prepaid rebate card by mail worth up to $75 when you buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires. Cooper's Take the Money and Ride Fall event. Get your rebate form and all the terms and conditions at a participating Cooper Tire dealer or at CooperTire.com. Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing.
Do you wanna? I may be in my pajamas right now, but I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free.
Log on now to TuneEducationToday.com. That's TuneEducationToday.com.
Well, 2 NFC East rivals clash on the field this week. Donovan McNabb and Philadelphia taking on Clinton Portis and Washington. On ESPN's Monday Night Football at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's at 7 o'clock Eastern. The new quarterback in the ball game, Neil Caudle, hands it off to Fannin. Well, what does Auburn do from here?
Yeah, Mark, I mean, they have 135 yards total offense in this football game. Last week was their lowest of the year, 315 against Kentucky. They've just been overwhelmed by the speed of LSU.
It's been a coming out party for the LSU Tigers offensively tonight. That's the indelible image of this evening. This is Fannin again. Nice run for the first down. Well, Bob, we talked about surprises, disappointments, teams who we pretty much thought they would be what they are. And what about the question marks?
Yeah. I think this is big-time list right here. You know, USC struggling tonight with Oregon State in the Coliseum. LSU, Oregon, obviously the winner of the USC-Oregon game next week, and LSU are my two teams in prime position with the talent to possibly still make a run at the national championship.
That was Fannin on the run.
What happened to your Miami Hurricanes today?
Boy, they got beaten. Clemson in overtime. They had some great opportunities. Defensively, a little bit soft in the secondary.
Yeah, you knew that really helped the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets
in the ACC.
Because they were even with Miami, because Miami was ahead of them because they beat them head-to-head.
Yeah, they had the
Georgia Tech in clear position now in the coastal division of that ACC.
And Georgia Tech defeated Virginia Tech last week. This pass complete to Emory Blake, who makes it down inside the 20-yard line to the 17. This is where the college football season gets very interesting. Check out the standings in the SEC's Western Division. LSU, we're going to give them the win and improve them to 4-1, 6-1 overall. Alabama squeezing barely by Tennessee earlier today. Incomplete. And what about Alabama and Florida, Bob? We're starting to see some of their warts, some of their imperfections a little bit as this LSU team, in contrast, starts to rise some.
Well, you're navigating through that SEC, Mark, and there's so much familiarity. You know, they play each other every year, you know, so it just gets so tough to blow anyone out. And the pressure mounts. You know, don't think for a second there's not a lot of pressure on Florida and Alabama to be perfect.
Waddle completes the pass. You know, Houston Nutt incomplete. Houston Nutt, head coach of Mississippi, was quoted in a national publication earlier this week talking about the difficulty of playing in the SEC. He looked at one of the team on another conference, and another conference said, man, I wish I could play teams like them more often.
Yeah. But he's saying that now because he's in this conference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. And it's good to see Cottle right here getting playing time for Auburn late in this football game. Throws the ball pretty well.
Buying himself a little bit of time. Completes the pass. Down to the 1-yard line is the backup tight end, Philip Lutzenkirchen. 8 seconds to go.
These are always interesting situations right here for coaches, you know.
Yeah, chance to end the night on a positive note.
Yeah, do you use the timeouts? I think you do, man. You play it out and try to score. You're going to get booed by the people here in the stadium, but you know what? Give your guys a chance to score right here, man. The amount of practice guys do to play in these games. First defense coming back in for LSU.
Look at that.
Now's when you get second guessed.
It's on now.
If you're John Chavis or Les Miles and you put those starters back in there right now, Mark, and one of them gets hurt, you may never live it down.
This is where the machismo all comes out.
It's on right now. I mean, look at the LSU players on that field.
You never know it's 31-3, right? With 8 seconds to go.
You don't think it's not personal. I mean, Auburn calls timeout. Les Miles says, you know what? You want to keep it going? We're going to put our starting defense back in that game. It's pretty good stuff for a 31-3 game, right?
Yes, sir.
No Ben Tate in the game.
Neil Cottle out of the shotgun.
Half the distance to the goal now.
That was Charles Alexander.
You know what? That's a good penalty down there.
Why is that?
Well, because it's only half the distance to the goal on the defense. Take the chance of forcing a bad snap right there. All you lose is an inch anyhow on defense.
Outside. Defense number 91. Half the distance to the goal.
Now, if Auburn runs it, doesn't score, do they call timeout again? Yeah, they try to get one more play.
Got one left, yeah. The proverbial teaching moment.
It's good stuff right here, Mark. Good stuff. Listen to this crowd, huh?
For those that decided to stay, a good moment.
Look.
Look at Levington over there, amped up.
He won't throw it.
Cottle. Touchdown, Lutzenkirchen. They score it. A chance to flex their muscles a little bit.
He would love to say something right there. Look at the smirk.
You know that's going to be the first question in the postgame news conference.
And they threw it. You know, it wasn't like he got everybody stirred up and tried to run it. They threw it on him.
Philip Lutzenkirchen with the touchdown reception.
Yeah, Mark, why not go for two now?
Hey, don't stop
if
now.
If you're Gene Chizik, if you're going to score, go for two, finish it out.
Hey, we're still riled up with 3 seconds to go, huh? 31-10. Chance to
Mark,
flex
here
it.
it is. I give Gene Chizik credit for going for it, throwing it, doing all you can, man. I mean, play it out till the end. They're going to do the same thing to you. Now, probably would have gone for 2, right?
Yeah.
If it's that important to score, then go for 2. It's another teaching opportunity to let Cottle make a play.
Yeah, get them all while you're there. You said it, though, Bob. You know, some people say, why do you do that kind of stuff? Well, Neil Cottle, Lutz Kirchen, guys like that, they practice all week, just like everyone else, just like the starters on the team. This is their moment. It's sometimes unfair to deny them of an opportunity to play at full speed and to do what they're supposed to do.
You're exactly right, Mark. That's what it is.
3 seconds to go. LSU can improve to...
Look at this guy.
62.
Look at this guy. Mark.
What do we call that one?
Wow. Oh, he has no idea he's on national television. He just got a little bit, what is it, YouTube? I promise you that is going to be somewhere tomorrow. My man is oblivious. This guy right here, there, he finally got his attention.
He's dancing to his own beat. I don't know. Yeah, what do we go for an onside kick here, Bob? We're still going for teaching moments.
I think you probably do. LSU thinks it's going to be onside kick.
A whole bunch of guys.
I think they're going to go ahead and kick this thing, Mark. I think enough's enough. We've had enough teaching and learning experience
for the last 9 seconds.
Yeah, let's kick it out of here.
Squib it down to the 28. Oh, I thought you were thinking I was Trendon Holiday perhaps going to lateral. What's his handshake going to be like?
Oh, it'll be
sure they understand each other, where they're coming from. Les Miles and Gene Chizik. Chizik's team dropping its 3rd consecutive game. And for Les Miles, boy, his team really showed what they're made of offensively in a breakout moment, a breakout game for the LSU Tigers. They win it 31-10, getting over the 300-yard mark offensively. ESPN 2 College Football Scoreboard is up next. And here, a post-game extra. There's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Bob Davey, I'm Mark Jones. Now let's send it to Todd, Robert, and Wendy back in Bristol.